Good evening, one and all. It's Jose El Cockerel here for a Thursday mop-up. Thursday mop-up. Waiting for a few of you to join. I've prepared some banners myself tonight because normally you guys ask me. I get lost in translation when you lot ask me things. So I've ended up doing a few banners myself. And I had one earlier. I've got another one. Right, let me add that one in there as well. So, my banners tonight all revolve around food. 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 around food. I've got 2 around music. And I've got a couple of 3 to do with fashion, if you like, but old fashion. So I'm going to show you an age group here by what I've got. I'm going to show you an age group here. But before we start, evening to Adrian. Adrian was here well early. He's here an hour ago, and he's posted. Good evening, all. Talk and Ball. He must have popped in about 15 minutes ago, I think, when he was on his break. Says, I hope everyone is having a great day. Let's make sure we smash that like, everyone. We've got Graham here. Good evening, Graham. Says, evening, Jose. I hope you're well. Hi to all the chat. Ryan is here saying evening to me, and he's just advised that Johnson has scored for Wales tonight. I knew they were 2-1 up, so that must mean that they're 3-1 up then. Wayne Bonner is here saying, good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well and your days being beyond wonderful. You too as well, Wayne. Big up, mate. Dekaru's saying, oh, Lost in Translation is a very good topic. And we've got Mark Cook. Good evening, Mark. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. Missed you last week in the predictions, mate. Hopefully, we'll get your predictions tomorrow if you're there or thereabouts. I've picked the games for this weekend, and I'll tell you what, all I've got to say is the Northerners are going to have the biggest say in this because there's so many Northern teams playing this week. But yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. You got Destiny saying evening, Senor Jose, and big up to all the chat. And Ryan's telling me that yeah, it's 3-1 now. Bloody hell, 3-1. Right, before we start, right, I want you all to do me a favour. It really is. It would do me a world of. It would do me the business, right? I'm gonna put a link up for another channel, and I just want you to all go over. Just press the link. We won't lose me. Just go over there, put a comment in her stream, and hit a like button because she's looking to get a certain amount of likes tonight for her watch along. So if you guys can go over for me, do me the honourable favour, go over to this person and just say Jose said pop in. We smashed the like and we subbed or whatever, and I can see who's doing it from here to there because I've got her channel on at the moment. So if you can do that for me, the Ryan's in both the streams as well. So am I. I'm watching her stream as well at the moment, and she's got 45 likes, and I'm sure she wants to get past 50. But if you haven't subbed to her as well, because we'll be having her on, and she's also a member of Talk and Ball. So it'd be really good if we could show some love her way. So yeah, if you go to, it's just here, and just say Jose sent me, and you hit a like, or you even sub to her, then it'll make the world of good for her. She does all different content, so she covers all teams. So tonight she's doing the Wales watch along, but she did the women's watch along last night, a game, the women's the night before, and she does all these different watch alongs. So it'd be really good if you guys could just go over and just hit a like button and just tell her that Jose sent you. That we're over here, but Jose sent you. We're going to hit a like. Bad link. Oh yeah. Sorry, I spelled it wrong. Yeah, my fault. I spelled it wrong. Hold on. I've spelled it wrong. That's why. It's my fault. You are correct, Mundo. I've spelled it wrong. Yeah, I spelled it wrong. Here it is. Sorry. There you go. Sorry, people. Try that one. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah. So just go over. Just tell her we're saying hello. Yeah. Sorry, Mark. I've just it's the one that I'm showing on screen now. It's the one that I just did now. And if you haven't subbed, sub as well, please, to her. Right. So I've seen Destiny's gone in there. I can see Graham's gone in there as well. Got a couple more of you. Go on. Let's try and get her to the 50 likes. She's on 48. She's gone up to 48. She's got an extra sub. Mark Cook's gone in there as well. Thank you, Mark. Dakaru's gone in there. Thank you, Dakaru. Right, let's see if we've got to the 50. No, we're one short of the 50. One short of the 50. You got Wayne Bonner. She was on 48, 47, 48. Yeah, Wayne, she's now gone up to 49. Oh, she's still on 49. Uh, yeah, thank you very much, people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right, just letting them know. Right, so that's done. Right, so we've got that. I'm just making sure that I can see her comments, and then I'll come back to us. Listening to Welsh commentary is awful. Is that what it is? It's awful, is it? Oh, yeah. So Mark Cook has subbed. Well done, Mark. Thank you very much, mate. I'm not sure whether she's seen that we've gone in there. So bear with me a second. Let's see what she's saying for a second. Make sure when we finish this stream, everybody jumps over and joins Tell over on his channel. Yeah, she's seen it, I think. So yeah, so that's good. Well done, everyone. Thank you very much. So, we can start then. We'll start. Right. So, people, I've got no questions at the moment from you. So, as I haven't got any questions from you at the moment, I'm gonna I'm gonna I've got 3 streams running now. I've got 3 streams running now. Okay, Dekaru, you don't have to have three streams running now, mate. So, but anyway, regardless of that, so we'll start then. So you ain't asking me questions. I'm gonna ask you. So my first one is right, and I ask you all. Consider right. I want to know risotto or paella. What is it for you? Risotto or paella, people. And if so, why? Yeah, thanks, Mark. Yeah, cheers, Lee. I got your message, mate. And thanks, Mark. Yeah, I saw you subbed, mate. I was not looking. Um, I say it's risotto for Ryan G. Right, Ryan, what kind of risotto do you like? Because there's different types of risotto you can have. Because there's different types of sauces in Italy, so you can have different. Yeah, you can have different risottos. You can have ham. You can have a fish risotto, seafood risotto. You can have all sorts. So, what kind of risotto do you like, Ryan? Anyone else? Risotto or paella? So one is made with arborio rice, and arborio rice is for the risotto, and you got paella rice. Paella rice is so yeah. So arborio is the rice that's used to make risotto, and you get special grain for paella rice, which makes paella. So it seems to be a lot of people say. So what we've got Ryan G says risotto, but I don't know what type. Mark Cook says risotto with rice. Risotto is a rice dish. Uh, Graham is saying any risotto as long as any seafood. So it's a seafood risotto that you like. Oh, not any seafood. And sorry, you mean not any seafood. So any risotto as long as it's not seafood. So you don't mind having any other risotto, but just not seafood. Um, Dekaru sister Spurs GC to Graham. I'm trying to be very, very careful. As an Aussie, I'm happy to leave both risotto and paella alone. And Ryan says, I like most risottos, to be fair, Jose. Chicken, I'll go for. And Mark Cook says, I know, Jose, my dry sense of humour. Sorry. Right. So for me, I'm going to have to answer this. For me, it's obviously paella. I prefer paella. But with paella, you can get three different types of paella that's cooked traditionally in Spain. So you get one that's rabbit. So you get a rabbit paella. Um, you actually get four. You get a rabbit paella. You can have a chicken paella. You can have what they call a meat paella, but mostly they use rabbit for it, or a meat paella. You get a chicken. Chicken paella is another one, and you also get seafood paella. I like what they call paella valenciana, obviously from Valencia, and there it's a mixture of seafood and chicken. So it's monkfish, um, prawns, chicken, mussels, and stuff like that. So yeah, for me, I prefer paella to risotto. But everyone else here has gone outstandingly for risotto. Um, Adrian asked a message and he's tried to retract it, but I can see it. Uh, but yeah, right. So yes, it's different. So risotto is the one that you lot fancy, right? So let's get that one out of the way then, and I'll go for my next one. Whilst you lot ain't asking me, I'm going to ask the question. Now, for this, it's up to you how you want to answer it, right? No, for the next one it'll be. So for the next one for food, I'm going to go for Parma ham or prosciutto ham. Some people may know the difference. Good evening, brother Lawrence. Nice to see you in here, mate. He says good afternoon from Lexington, Kentucky, USA. Come on, you Irons. Yes, brother Lawrence is a West Ham fan. Nice to have you here, sir. Nice to have you here. Um, so yeah, so the question I'm asking you guys is, what do you prefer, Parma ham or prosciutto ham? One's obviously from one country and one's from another. I'm not sure whether we've got any ham experts in here or cured ham experts. So Mark Cook is Parma ham. So Mark Cook is Parma ham. Lawrence is prosciutto. Ryan G prefers Parma ham. So we've got three connoisseurs. So four connoisseurs. Italian, isn't it? Right? No. Parma and prosciutto ham are two different things. Prosciutto ham is the Italian version, and Parma ham is the Spanish version. It's Serrano. So for me, it's Serrano ham. Dekaru is passing on the food questions. Good evening, Stu. Hello, mate. I hope you're well. I hope you're feeling much better, mate. I hope you're on the road to recovery and to be 110%, like I put in the chat in Jesse's earlier. Uh, Lee from Disabled Team, top fella, lead supporter, a really good guy, supporter of the community. Has been a supporter of a lot of Tottenham channels for ever since I've been watching streams. So he's been there for quite a while. So Lee's another one of the good ones out there. Sorry, Stu's another one of the good ones out there, and so's his son Lee. So they've got the disabled team together. They're two in one, if you like. Um, then you've got Ryan says, what does I'm checking it on my other channel. Right, sorry. Ryan says, I don't think I've had prosciutto either. Okay, fair enough. If you haven't had that one, you haven't had that one. I suppose it's a bit difficult because Dakaru is not answering any of these at the moment. But my, I'm gonna bear with me, Dakaru. I'm nearly finished because I've only got a few, and then I'm relying on yourselves. So it's cottage pie versus shepherd's pie. Cottage pie versus shepherd's pie, and it'd be interesting because the Northerners have got their favourite out of this one, I think. So it'd be interesting. Good evening, Lee from Lee Statham TV. How are you, sir? I hope you're well, Lee. So yeah, cottage pie or shepherd's pie? What is your favourite out of the two? Oh, we got a split opinion here. Graham is cottage pie. Mark Cook is cottage pie, cottage all day. Daniel E is shepherd's. Ryan G is cottage pie. And Dakara says he doesn't know the difference between them both. Can anyone tell me what the difference is? I think, if my memory serves me right, the difference is the meat that's used. One uses one type of mince meat, and the other one uses a different type of mince meat. And one also has carrots and peas in it as well. So they're the differences that you get. There we go. Mark's got it. Cottage pie is beef, and so is Spurs GCTV. Cottage pie is beef, and shepherd's pie is lamb. And Wayne Bonner says both, but cottage just nicks it. Let me see. If we've got that at the moment, you've got one for cottage, two for cottage, one for shepherds, three for cottage, four for cottage, five for cottage at the moment, and one for shepherds. Interesting. Interesting. All right, then I'm gonna have to throw my hat in the ring, and I'm gonna go shepherds. There's not very often that I'll eat minced lamb, but I'll eat it in shepherd's pie. If I'm making a shepherd's pie and I'm using minced lamb, I'll eat it when I'm making minced lamb. DC's come in, and he says, best food in the world is Mexican tacos, enchiladas, fajitas, burritos, pozoles, empanadas, totopos, and quesadillas. Um, and Dekari says, "Lol, you've picked the topic. I'm totally ignorant. The other two streams are football." Well, this is like we always say. This is definitely It's just a fun Thursday night stream. Nothing serious. If there's any football to talk about, we will. I'm sure people will tell us as they go along what the scores are in other games. If people are interested, they'll let us know. But this is for you guys to ask any questions that you want. And at the moment, I'm asking the questions because every week it's yourselves. And I thought, do you know what? Let me start by asking the questions tonight, and then I'll let you guys do it. So, Dekaru, you're more than welcome to watch football streams. I've got one more to do with on the food side of it, and then we go. Daniel he says, screw everyone in the chat. I'll be one man army on the shepherd's pie. Well, Daniel, that makes three of us then. Three of us have gone for shepherds. Graham says, both nice, especially if cheese is melted into the mash. That sounds. Jordan from Jordan Hyman LFC, another good chap. Jordan is a Liverpool YouTuber from the West Indies, and really nice fella. If you watch his videos and his shorts and that, very animated chap, very animated. He really gets into it. But yeah, he's a really nice fella. So people could go do well by supporting him. You're going to see a few people appear on our streams from now on that do support other teams. It's about time we had that, because we welcome that, but we're starting to get more people. They've obviously come over from Jesse's channel, but Jessie has people from all sorts of walks of life and all sorts of supporters on her channel, and she's doing really well. And kindly enough, they decided to come over and give us a view as well. So fair enough. Thank you very much. Dekara says, give me 15 minutes and I'll be more focused. But then we've got Ryan G telling us Ben Davies has scored. So Wales are now 4-1 up, definitely going through to the final, where they're likely to meet Poland on Tuesday, because they were 1-0 up earlier. Don't know the final result. And Dekara saying, that's why I love Ben Davies. So, with that being said, all right, my next topic, right, so I've done that one. So the last one, anywhere remotely needing to do with food, I'm just going to ask that. It doesn't matter what you're having, right? It's a rare, a medium, or a well done. Which of the three do you have? Which of the three do you have? Do you have it rare, medium, or well done? And that can be anything that you cook. Oh, yeah. DC has come in with brilliant. DC's brilliant. Isn't he? Shepherd's pie or cottage pie, really so bland, like eating cardboard. It divides opinion, but I'm just asking the question. So, right. So now it is. It's if you're gonna have it, is it rare, medium, or well done? And I'll leave it up to you what you're eating. So you could be talking about steaks. You could be talking about a burger. You could be talking about a piece of a piece of something else. You could be talking about vegetables. Whatever it is that you're doing, is it rare, medium, or well done? Rare, medium, or well done. They're the three that I'm giving you. And at the moment, we've got Destiny's coming in with medium. Mark Cook's coming in with well done. Ryan G says, as long as it isn't rare, it's disgusting. Graham says medium to rare. So he's picking two of the words. And then Ryan says, I prefer well done, but I like medium rare as well. Good evening, Audio. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. Nice to see you. So, sorry, Ryan, when you're saying the goal was disallowed for Davis, does that mean we're back to 3-1 then, rather than 4-1? Let us know, because we're not watching it, obviously. Audio says, evening, bruv. So, evening. And then he says, Audio prefers his medium to well for him. Dekaru, what's Dekaru saying? My father loves something about 2 levels above well done. I called it burnt. I learnt to hate steak. I'm starting to wonder, do you ever eat? Because everything we said so far is like, oh, you got Tot Spurs lurking in the background. It's Parma ham for him, shepherd's pie, and most definitely rare or blue steak. Everything else cooked, please. Hi, Jose and all. Hi, Tot Spurs. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. I've selected the matches for tomorrow's predictions. There are a fair few. I'm not going to tell you how many selected. I've selected a fair few for tomorrow, but all I've got to say is all the northern chaps and chapesses that will be in the show will probably have an advantage because there's a lot of northern teams playing tomorrow. It's as if the south has been rained off and all the games are up in the north. So yeah, the north definitely have an advantage tomorrow. Um, Daikari says, when in Japan, I finally learnt to enjoy steak. I think it was rare, but super good quality meat, amazing. Um, and then Ryan says, rare is pure filth. There is steak in Japan, and I can't remember what they call it, but there's a type of steak that they do in Japan, or it's a type of meat, the steak that they do in Japan, and it's absolutely fantastic. But I can't remember the name of it. Daikari, you'll probably know what it is, or somebody in the chat will know. Wagyu, that's it. Wagyu, that's it. Wagyu beef. Yeah, that's it. And it's meant to be absolutely fantastic. So, but with that being said, I'm going to go away from the rare, medium, and well done. And Daniel saying, Daniel, brilliant. Daniel says, how about giving me a steak that is proper cooked? Fantastic. Right, my next one. Right, so now you got to tell me. I've got a couple of music ones, and then I've got three showing my age. Showing my age, this is. I've got three style ones, like for clothing and stuff like that. And I'll explain it as I'm doing it. But yeah, what do you want? Do you want the two music ones, or do you want the three style ones? The curry said it's glorious, fat is marbled, so it melts into a near butter taste. It's true. Wagyu beef, yeah, it's true. So what do you guys want? Do you guys prefer to have the two music ones, or do you want the three style ones? I leave this to yourselves. You decide, and I'll put them up. Ryan, if you don't know the music ones tonight, then we've got an issue, mate. We've got an issue. You will definitely know the music ones. If you don't, God help me, mate. I tell you, you must know. You've got a music one for later, Graham. Okay, fair enough. 4-1 to Wales. Dan James has just scored. Ryan has just told us. Right. In that case, because we're waiting, we might get a few more people in. What I'm going to do is I am going to. It's difficult because I really wanted to do these with the Northern lot as well. Um, Nick Brown, blimey, clues in the name. Nick Brown, good evening, sir. It's been a while, Nick, since I saw you, mate. How are you keeping, Nick Brown? How are you keeping? ¿Cómo estás, amigo? How are you? It'd be nice to know how you are. I've not seen you in such a long while on my streams. I've not seen you on any streams for that matter. I don't know. Are you all right? Is everything okay? Have you been away? Niall Kane's in the house. Good evening, Niall. How are you, sir? I hope you're well. What I may do, Ryan. What minute is the Wales game on roughly? Because then I can ask Nick and I can ask Niall on their opinions. So for Nick and Niall, can you give me your opinion on right? Do you prefer 88? So I can ask this question in a minute. Do you prefer, and this is for Nick Brown and for Niall Kane, do you prefer risotto or paella? Is the question that I asked first of all. Risotto or paella for you? And that's the first one. Right, let me see what you guys are saying. David Clark says neither. All right, I'm going to star your question. So Stu's never tried either. That's fine. That's not a problem. Um, David Clark says neither, and Stuart hasn't tried them before. Okay, fair enough. And it doesn't look like Niall or Nick are. Blimey, clues in the name. It doesn't look like Nick or Audio Artisan is paella all day. Yes, I've got an ally. I've got an ally. Audio Artisan says paella. Everybody was saying risotto. And all different types of risotto. Some people wanted chicken, some people wanted fish risotto, some people like vegetarian risotto, some people like the ham and mushroom risotto, some people like the cheese risotto. So I can understand because risotto you can have all different types of risotto. But what I was saying about paella earlier is in Spain you normally get five types of paella. You either get rabbit paella, meat paella, fish paella, chicken paella, or the mainstay is what they call paella valenciana, which is Valencian paella, and that is a mixture of fish and chicken. And that I really do like that. I really do like that. Um, Saying that, so we've gone past that one. If anyone hasn't commented on this one already, I'm just going to go back because I'm trying to make sure that I grab with these other ones, I grab other people. But you've asked me a question, so I'm going to ask the question now, Spurs GCTV. You've asked me the question of, right, your question to me is, and it's a question for everybody, is quick question for now. Will Anthony Joshua regain his titles? Right, my opinion, Graham, is yes, he will. Yes, he will. I watched him fight Usyk twice. Um, Anthony Joshua, obviously you evolve as a fighter. Yeah, you evolve and you're learning new techniques and new tricks all the time. And for me, Anthony Joshua kept changing his trainers really quite often. Thrown in, tried to pick up new styles and stuff like that. I think if Anthony Joshua just did what he did in the last fight, if he continued doing that like he's done in the past, right? So in the past um, he was a knockout merchant. He'd stand there, trade, and then knock you out because he'd use his power. When he starts getting too much into trying to learn the boxing skills and stuff like that, Usyk picked him off. Usyk beat him, and it felt like that he tried to fight Usyk. Sorry, he tried to box Usyk rather than fight him. When he fights, he's a different animal. And I just think that with his new trainer that he's been with for the last couple of fights, he's actually he's gone back to fighting rather than boxing. And fighting is how he's won the world. It's how he won the world title in the first place when he beat Prince Charles, or whatever he called himself. He beat him. Then he's beaten. Obviously, he beat Klitschko, but he didn't beat Klitschko because of boxing. He beat Klitschko because they were fighting. When he beat Prince Charles, it was fighting. He was a knockout merchant. He's got devastating punching power, but that punching power went missing when he was changing trainers and stuff like that. His punching power went missing, and he was being, taught or being coached by different coaches. If you let him just go out and box with raw power, I think he wins. I know Usyk's a good boxer, but I think he will beat him. I think he beat him. Styles make fights, Ryan. At the end of the day, styles make fights, and the way who was it that fought Usyk? Who was it that fought Usyk and give Usyk a torrid time? A British heavyweight. I can't remember whether it was Dillian White or whether it was Derek Chisora, but one of them fought Usyk, and they gave Usyk a torrid time because they didn't go into box; they just went into fight. Nah, Usyk, no, it weren't the Usyk belly. That was a light heavyweight match, a heavyweight match. Usyk's been in with one of the other British guys, and it was a heavyweight contest, and they went in and they didn't box because they can't box because Usyk's a proper boxer, and they went in and they gave Usyk a torrid time, a torrid time. Tony Bellew didn't give Usyk a torrid time. Uh, Usyk schooled Tony Bellew big time. Mind you, Usyk schooled most of the fighters that he's been in with. But yeah, that's my opinion. So you've got here. Let me just go back. So Dakar is saying he's never tried paella. Spanish food isn't available in Oz. Ryan is saying Valencia paella could change my opinion. Sounds great. Olia says my Spanish mate makes a mixed paella and he loves it. Ryan's opinion is Joshua won't. Graham says he think he will. Ryan's then saying that Ngannou defensively was awful in that fight, and I'm a fan of Ngannou. Mark Cook says that he doesn't think that Joshua has the minerals. Ryan then says, I still think Usyk and Fury still beat him. I still think Usyk and Fury still beat him. Okay, you think they both still beat him. Ryan G says he beat Klitschko because he fought an old man. You only can fight what's in front of you. Joshua needs to stop trying to be a celebrity and just focus on fighting. He doesn't have the charisma at all, but he does have the boxing skills. Ryan saying Tony Bellew. Tony Bellew gave me. I thought he got schooled. I thought Bellew got schooled from round one onwards. I thought he was completely schooled. And then you've got Joshua won't beat Usyk. He just doesn't have the defensive ability to stop getting hit. Boxing wise, when he fought the first fight he fought against Usyk won by a country mile. The second fight was a lot closer. He fought under one coach for the first fight. He fought under a second coach for the second fight. And he's changed coaches again since the Usyk defeats. But now the people that he's with now, he's gone back to what he knows best, and that is punching power. So they're using his tools to their advantage. Where I think he stepped away from the tools that he had for his advantage. I think he stepped away and he kind of got mixed in his head about what he was trying to become and what he's trying to do. And at the end of the day, if you've got to look at the amount of amateur fights he's had as well, to try and then change him this late on is it's well late to try and change him this late on. So he was up in the scorecards, Jose, in that fight. I'm pretty sure. I felt me watching it with my eyes. I didn't see the scorecards because we didn't need to see the scorecards because he'd won by knockout. But for me, my eyes from what I saw, I thought he got schooled, mate. From the whole fight, I thought he was schooled. And then when Bellew speaks about that fight, Bellew said that he couldn't get near him. He said he was worn down. He just couldn't get near him. There it is. Chisora went to 12 rounds with Usyk. Right, but Chisora didn't go into box, did he, Dan? Chisora went in to throw bombs, and Usyk looked clumsy. He might have outclassed him, but he looked clumsy. He looked like he weren't the same Usyk because he couldn't pick him off at will. He never knocked Chisora out or anything, and Chisora just went in to throw bombs at him, and it made it difficult for him. Which is something that Joshua didn't do. Joshua didn't throw bombs in either fight against Usyk, but now with the new setup he's got, or that he's had for the last few fights, he's gone back to what he was doing before, where he will use his tools. His tools are he's got a demon sledgehammer of a jab. So, and he's got a fucking serious left hook. And with power as well. So at the end of the day, I just think that now he's utilising what he's got that are his potential strengths. He's now utilising them. And I think if he goes back in with Usyk again, he'll fight that way rather than try to box Usyk where he's going to get defeated. So, but there we go. Stu saying that is Fury ending the road now age wise? I don't know. Tyson Fury's a weird one because Tyson Fury is so big, isn't he? He's huge. He's absolutely huge. He's absolutely huge, and therefore with Fury, it's huge. But then it depends what Fury turns up because the Fury that turned up against Ngannou was no one's business, was he? So at the end of the day, he needs to turn up. If Fury wants to box, okay, so Fury had his mindset for the 3 fights he had with Deontay Wilder. He had his mindset on it. Now, I never rated Wilder. I'll be honest, I never rated him at all. When they were trying to do the AJ and Wilder fights, I thought to myself, AJ beats him. AJ jabs his head off and beats him because all Wilder's got is he's got that big booming punch, but he's got to connect with you. And with people that can move, he ain't connecting with them. And he'll get jabbed. He'll get jabbed. His head gets jabbed off. So you know, at the end of the day, you know, uh, yeah, if Fury turns up to a fight and he really does what he did with the Wilder fights, where he really trained, his mission was Wilder. If he does that, then Fury can be a champion for many, many years. If he comes in the way he did against Ngannou and some others, where he drops his hands, he thinks it's going to be an easy night and stuff like that, then he may come unstuck. So, but there we go. But I think Fury, I think Fury's hungry to have the. I think they're both hungry. Fury and Joshua are both hungry to meet each other. I think they want to have this best of Britain battle. We've had some best of Britain battles passed in the past before with heavyweights, and it's raked in a hell of a lot of money. And I think this is no different. It'll rake in a hell of a lot of money again. Probably outdo the ones that we've had before. So, um, Ryan says that AJ threw bombs when he fought against Andy Ruiz Jr. and he got stopped. Yeah, he did in the first fight, but he by the time he went in with Ruiz, he'd already. This is what I'm saying to you, Ryan. He kept changing trainers all the time. Do you know what I mean? But if I look at him now, regardless of who he's fought, I look at him now and I look at his style and the way that he's throwing his punches and the way that he's moving around and that. I'm more confident in him now than what I was or what I have been for the last 3 or 4 years. So, it's only an opinion, as I said, it's only an opinion. Um, Danny says, good evening, Danny. He says, Fury's on top of his game, got another 5 years ahead of him yet. As I said, if he turns up for fights, then he's going to be, he'll be dangerous. Jose, he didn't train against Ngannou as his kid was in hospital, right? And then Danny also says, Fury beats them before they get in the ring with his mind games. And he's also said, and AJ is now under Fury's old trainer. And I think somebody else said that as well. I think Ryan may have said that as well. Disabled to so Ruiz didn't right. So disabled to him. So Stu says if the agents who don't want the fight to happen, both agents will get frightened to lose. Well, in saying that, in all honesty, watching what the Riyadh series has done, right? They've managed to bring so that card that they had in December. It was the Saturday before Christmas. So it might have been the 22nd of December or something like that. They had that card before Christmas where they had 10 fights on that card and they pitched loads of people together. So um, AJ fought Wallin, Parker fought Wilder, but then Hergovich was on that bill as well. There was a load of fighters. How they managed to have all them different promoters on that stage and bring all them fighters together was absolutely impressive. And the only people that can do that are the Saudis. They're the only ones that can do it. They're the only ones that can put the show on because they've just turned around and said to people, look, at the end of the day, we don't want the politics. If you want us to host and give you top dollar, then we want the top fights. And that means people need to fight each other. And that's what they've done. And I think they've done it again this last set of fights where they put people against each other. You've now got Usyk and Fury to fight in May. I think it got postponed to May. Once that gets dealt with, they will make more and more fights because they'll only sponsor and they'll only raise the cash and they're the biggest players and they'll only raise it if people fight each other. If the agents start getting into like bickering wars and that, they'll just tell them to go away. Don't bother. Don't use us because we're never going to use you again. So it's in their interest to make all this happen. Um, Ryan saying he agrees it does look better. David Cox says it doesn't matter about his mouth. Fury, if he trains properly, unlike his last fight, he wins. If he gets lazy and the money's his only thought, he will lose. I don't know whether money's his only thought because he doesn't live a flashy lifestyle from what I can see. I mean, I might be told different, but he doesn't seem to live a flashy lifestyle. So I quite like the way that he goes about it. He lives in Morecambe, don't he? And I quite like the way he goes about himself. So yeah, I'm not sure that he's flashy with flashy for money in that. He seems to be like a down to earth chap to me when I see him. So, um, AJ wants Fury. Oh, sorry, what's Danny saying? Danny saying AJ wants Fury and Fury wants AJ. My money is on Fury every day. Everyone has opinions. Everyone has opinions. Ryan says, I like that Shakur Stevenson. Have you watched him, Jose? Slick Fire. Yeah, I've watched Shakur Stevenson. He is slick. He's not Floyd Mayweather, but he is slick because Mayweather never got hit by anyone. He just walked and never got hit by anyone at all. We have the young Jesse here. Hello, Jesse. How are you? How are you? I hope you're well. I hope you're well. Um, Danny's then saying Fury Usyk is two fights as rematches involved, and then Fury and AJ is on. Um, Disabled. So Stu's then saying didn't Fury pay for his local football club's gym? I could be wrong. No, Fury does a lot. Fury does a lot for the Morecambe area. He does a hell of a lot for the Morecambe area where he lives. If I remember rightly, he left Manchester or wherever it was and didn't want to live in the city anymore and decided to move to Morecambe and he's happy there. And as I said, he doesn't live for the amount of money the guy earns and stuff like that. He doesn't live this fancy lifestyle of you know that you look at some other fighters, they buy themselves, you know, 50 room mansions and stuff like that. He doesn't do all that. So he's quite down to earth. Do you know what I mean? I quite like him. He's quite down to earth. Um, and then you've got Danny saying, yeah, he trains on Morecambe Beach. Right. So with that being said, Jess, I'm hoping that you. Well, I know that when I left your stream, you had 52 likes. We wanted to get you to 50. You were on 45, and I sent a load of people in. And you were on 345 subs, and I think you were on 347 by the time you'd finished your stream. So a couple of people have subbed to you, and we got you 54 likes. So I made sure at the start of the show that before starting properly, I said to people to go over and to tell you that they'd come from me and to like, and if they weren't subscribed already, because you know that some people here, like your Danny, um, Ryan G, you got Spurs GCTV and a few others are already subbed to you. So it's the ones that hadn't subbed to you that I sent across. I know Mark Cook subbed to you, he's one of them, and somebody else. It might have been Wayne Bonner that subbed to you as well. But we got you a couple of subs, and we made sure you got to 54 likes. You were on 45 when we went in there. So I'm happy that I was able to help your stream today. So well done. You're climbing, and it's really, really good to see. Right, so for the people here at the moment, my next one is, and I was waiting for some of these people to come in, which they're now here. So the music one is the Kaiser Chiefs or the Happy Mondays. So who do you prefer, the Kaiser Chiefs or the Happy Mondays? So I'm showing my age here. The Kaiser Chiefs or the Happy Mondays? Who do you prefer, people, if you were given the option? So do you prefer the Kaiser Chiefs or the Happy Mondays? Ryan G is a Ryan G. You know what? Your surname says it, or you are a G, Ryan, because normally you absolutely hammer me saying, I don't know the music, I don't know rock. So I've picked two tonight that I thought that you might know. So you've got, do you know what? I kind of thought Jessie would go for the way she did. Um, right. So what we got? We got Ryan G is funny. Ryan makes me laugh. He says, Kaiser, no, sorry, Kel says Kaiser Chiefs for her. But Ryan G's comment is the one that's made me laugh. He says, Kaiser Chiefs, we've actually heard of these. Woo, so he's heard of both of them. Um, Dakari says, can I choose the Stone Roses? Well, it's not the one I've put in there. You only can pick one of the two, mate. Um, and then you said, Dakari kindly said, of the two, it's Kaiser Chiefs for me. Danny says, I'm from Yorkshire, so going to say the Kaiser Chiefs as they're all Leeds fans. There we go. Happy Mondays for Jesse. I've had a feeling that you'd go for the Happy Mondays. Tot Spurs, you've got to pick one, mate. You've got to pick one. You can't say, no, not for me. Audio is saying, not a fan of either, but I choose the Happy Mondays. See, Audio's with the program, Tot Spurs. You ain't with the program, man. What is wrong with you? God, there's always one that sits in the corner, and that's got to be you, Tot Spurs. Um, even Graham says not a big fan of either, but the Chiefs edge it. Danny says Ryan, I've heard of Happy Mondays with Bez. Yeah. Um, DC's favourite boxer was Ken Buchanan. Yeah, Ken Buchanan who fought in the 70s. I remember watching Ken Buchanan. Um, Mark Cook, I'm old, so it's the Happy Mondays for him. Dekaru said, of the two, the Kaiser Chiefs. Kells is saying that got all the Kaiser Chiefs albums. Wow. Um, DC is passing on this one. There we go. Look, you've got the Leeds boys and girls all saying, yeah, you've got the Sable team says the Kaiser Chiefs. Good evening, Leeds Angels. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. I hope you're well. Um, and then you've got Danny says, I'm not a fan of music. Either doesn't interest me. And then Totspurs says, if I had to choose, it would have to be the Kaiser Chiefs. Happy Mondays are unhappy music, in my opinion. Um, Graham none, as he doesn't listen to music. Right. So my second music one, because I put two music ones. I've starred the question that Graham that you've asked me. Right. The second one that I had is Oasis or the Kings of Leon. Oasis or the Kings of Leon. What say the crowd? Oasis or the Kings of Leon. And Daikari says, I grew up on Joy, Joy Division and New Order, but Happy Mondays never did anything for me. I could at least enjoy the Kaiser Chiefs. Fair enough. Right, so it's Oasis or the Kings of Leon. Ooh. Ooh, we've got. See, this is where you can tell people's ages. Wait till you got. I've got the three style questions to come now, and you're going to tell. You can tell people's ages here big time. Right, right. So at the moment we have got uh Leeds Angel saying hi guys. Stacey's still swimming. Mark Cook is going for Oasis. Danny is saying love Oasis summer fruits. Oh, yeah, you always get one, don't you? Or two, because we had one in the corner and we got one in the other corner now. Um, you've got Stewie saying Kings of Leon for him. Um, Lee is saying Oasis. Ryan G is saying Oasis, but I like both growing up. So Ryan, do I take it that you know the four groups that I've pitted against each other tonight? You know all four. Fantastic news if that's the case. Um, Spurs, Graham says, again, neither floated the boat, but have to say Oasis. Leeds is saying it's like a chat from chat. Audio saying, again, not a fan of either, but I choose the Kings of Leon. Tot Spurs is coming in with ACDC. Okay, you're forcing me. Kings of Leon. Oasis is unhappy music. And Leeds is agreeing with audio. Dekari says, I don't know if this is just an Aussie thing. Kings of Leon were almost one-hit wonders here. Oasis, though, were a proper popular band. Oasis any day. Kels, good night. She's saying, I'm off to bed. Just wanted to come into your show and support. Nightle, good night, Kels. Sleep tight. Have a really good kip. And see you next time, mate. Take care, Kels. See you later. Yeah, he knows all four for tonight. Just sent us to Jose. Nice lass. Nice Jose. Yeah, thank you very much. It's incredible, he's saying. Love the Skippy. And then Danny says, night, Kels, as well. Yeah, good night, Kels. Take care. Take good care of yourself. Right. So I'm now coming to style questions, right? This is going to show my age. Some of you will know what I'm on about and some of you won't, right? So the first one I'm going to say, I don't know how many of you lot played football out there. So my first one is going to be, right, you ready for it? Some of you know what I'm talking about. If you know what I'm talking about, you'll know what your answer is going to be. So it's interesting. If you know your football and or you played, should I say, then you'll know what I'm talking about here. So the question is, the answers are Are you an Adidas World Cup or are you a Puma King? And I see people are saying Adidas or they're saying Puma, but do you know what I'm talking about? So at the moment, Danny, Audio, Stuart, and Ryan and Mark Cook are saying Adidas, but Mark Cook says the four of them say Adidas, but Mark Cook saying World Cups all day, Jose. Mark Cook is saying boots. Ryan G says they're boots. Danny's saying they're football boots. Yes, they certainly are. I had a pair of each. I had the World Cups in 1978. I had a pair of World Cups, and because World Cups first came out when Beckenbauer played, so they're older than that. But they obviously they changed the colouring underneath the boot because it used to be six studs back then, and they changed the colouring underneath the boot. But then I also wore Puma Kings as well. I also wore Patrick Internationals as well when I played football because I used to play a lot of football when I was younger. But these, out of all the boots I ever wore, although in saying that, my Patrick Internationals were kangaroo skin, the whole lot were kangaroo skin. So that's what I wanted to ask people on style. What was you wearing, or what did you like? Did you prefer Adidas World Cups or the Puma Kings? Um, so people are saying that they're boots. Danny's saying football boots. Yes, you're getting right. DC saying when I was a coach and my son was my assistant coach, we had our initials printed on our tracksuits. We went a match and our opponents started laughing at us until we realised that our initials were DC and AC. Danny had both the sets of boots. Fantastic. So Danny had both boots. Totspurs is saying Adidas. Stewie wore Puma Kings. Um, Mark Cook says all I ever wore were World Cups, Jose. I was a lucky lad. World Cups were top boots. Graham is saying the Puma. DC saying Patrick boots were the best. Yeah, my Patrick Internationals, top of the range they were, all kangaroo skin. Absolutely fantastic boots. Fantastic boots. But really, are really comfortable to wear. But then saying that as well, the Kings were comfortable I had, and so were the World Cups. But yeah, so yeah, that's good. Ryan G Danny saying that the Adidas were comfier and the Patricks, wow, remember them. Ryan G, I remember having them cream David Beckham boots. So you're talking about the Predators, Adidas Predators you're talking about. They were a lot later on the line. Listen, if you ever played football, you can still get them now, retro pairs of Adidas World Cup. Different gravy, mate. The Predators don't come close. Adidas World Cup are the boots. If you're a pro footballer or anything to do with football, you're top shelf, you're wearing the Adidas World Cup or the Puma Kings. They were the proper ballers' choices for football boots. Um, and then you've got Ryan G saying, sorry, Ryan G also says, thinking I was the man. Audio Artist saying, did you ever wear Predators? The worst boots I ever had. It's coming in from Audio. Dekaru says, oh, is that why you have the kangaroos, Waratahs, and Wattle in the background? No, I just put it on because it's kind of soothing to me, and so I put it on. It's a lot better than the green stuff that we put on or the purple stuff. And I sometimes come on and I put this, and to me it's peaceful. So I like putting these on. It's peaceful, peaceful. Um, Mark Cook says I had a pair of Predators to when they first came out, to developed by Craig Johnston. That's correct. Daniel Lee's talking about the Total 90 boots. They're the Nikes, aren't they? The Total 90s. Uh, Rums, Danny's saying the Gola from the 90s as well. Back in the day, Golas, I used to see Golas, but I used to see the Golas back in the 70s. I, they used to be around in the 70s, and so did Power. I don't know if people remember Power Tunis, the football boots Power, and they were Power football boots and trainers, but the Tunis were the ones that people used to wear back in the 70s as well. Um, Beckham's Adidas Predators all-time best for Destiny. Um, my level of footy, I might as well have wore clogs, is what Graham's saying. Ryan G says they used to kill his feet. Or the silver R9 Vapors is what Destiny's saying. Um, Danny's saying I had Dunlop boots as well. And David Clark says them blade type studs were lethal. They would slice through your skin. Um, Ryan G says I'd have got bullied at school if I rocked up in some Golas. And Lawrence Lawrence is saying, Danny, I thought you used Crocs. So yeah, so I'm really happy that I've put this in there and that you all understood what I was going on about, which is fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic. Right, let's try this one for size. Right, are you ready? I'm showing my age here, and these are just, yeah, me, I'm just showing my age. So the next one is Lionel Scott or Pringle. What say the crowd? Lionel Scott or Pringle? I'm showing my age. I'm showing my age. Descartes says, I started playing football in 96. I did wear Adidas. And Danny saying, Lawrence, I can bend the ball just as good as Beckham in barefoot. So when we're looking for Pringles and Lionel Scotts, there we go. So you've never heard of Pringle? They're both Scottish brands. Um, if you were to look for Pringle, if you looked on Google, you've done a search for Pringle, um, you'll see what we're talking about straight away. You'll see exactly what we're talking about. Stewie, I knew Stewie would know. Stewie, superb. I knew you'd know. So in my day, because I can see what Mark Cook's put in there, right? In my day, Lionel Scott, I'd wear their polo necks. So no, not the polo. You know the ones, yeah, the polo necks. So where they go and they double over. So I'd wear them Lionel Scotts when I was young. And then for Pringles, I used to wear the jumpers. So Pringles were the diamond jumpers, but the diamond patterns. They look like Scottish diamond patterns. Were the Pringles. And that's what I used to wear when I was younger. So therefore, I've turned round and I've put these in. Lionel Scott was a little emblem of, it might have been an eagle, small eagle or something like that, or a Scottish bird of prey. Um, but yeah, I used to wear the roll necks or whatever they're called, the polo necks, the ones that go over your throat and all that. So they're the ones I used to wear. And as I said, the jumpers used to be Pringles. So you've got here, like who we got? We got Mark Cook is saying Pringle. Danny's gone for Pringle. Ryan's gone for Lionel Scott, but he's gone for Lyle Scott because he's never heard of Pringle. Audio's going for Pringle. Like I said, Stewie knows all about this stuff. Look, Stewie says Pringle in my early years, but now Lionel Scott. Mark says they're golfing shirts and golfing t-shirts and golfing attire, where they're jumpers, polos, they do all types of things. Pringle, sour cream and onion, the bomb on a barbecue ain't bad either. Never heard of them from DC. Lawrence saying, sorry, only Pringles is a crisp I can. I do like them. Um, Audio saying, I still rock a Pringle nowadays. Yeah, I've not had a Pringle for years, but yeah, they're decent jumpers. They're decent jumpers. Oh, Pringle, as in Scottish rugby jersey sponsor. Yeah, possibly. Um, then you've got Ryan G says, yeah, I used to wear a Lionel Scott a bit when I was younger. And Tot Spurs has to be, it has to be one. Get back in the corner, Tot Spurs. get back in the corner because he's now saying Fred Perry. So I say with that, get back in the corner. Um, and then my last one that I had set up, and then I'll go to the questions that you guys asked. The last one that I had to set up was right. Shows my age again. Sergio Tacchini's or a Fila BJ, which was Bjorn Borg, but I used to call it Fila BJ's. So Sergio Tacchini or Fila BJ. What's your taste? What say you to that one? And this is showing my age, so I've actually picked things from back when I was younger. Um, oh, we've got a few people in the house already saying what they're saying. DC saying I played when the leather ball was used, so I had my collar stiffened so the ball wouldn't break my neck when I headed the ball. And if you were unlucky enough, you had the head the lace and left a scar. Yeah, yeah. Right. Oh, look, Sanchez has just turned up, but you've got Danny is saying Fila. Jesse says Fila. Stewie says Sergio Tacchini. Mark Cook says Sergio shell suit for him. Audio is going Sergio Tacchini as well. Dekaru is brilliant. Dekaru says, "Lol, I leave LTL Cockerel mop-up chats feeling more ignorant of life than I ever felt when I started." And Sanchez is saying, "Feeler BJ, thank you." Um, Stu is Team Tashini. Tot Spurs is for Sergio Tashini as well. And Danny saying Adidas Poppers, lol. So yes, I'm glad that some of you said that. Yeah, yeah, interesting. So they're the ones that I had. They're the ones that I had planned. So as I said, you always ask me questions, and I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm going to ask some first, and that's what I've done. So I've gone through the ones that I wanted to go through. Let me see. Is Jess, are you still here? Because I see that you said yeah, Jess, are you still here? Tell me if you are. Right. Right, let me just put it in there. Jess, I'm putting the link up for you. So if you want to come and join me here, you can do. Because you're the hardest person to get hold of. Like I said before, you are the hardest person to get hold of because you haven't got a phone. So it's really difficult to do anything with you without a phone. So if you want to come on, the link is there for you to come on. David Cox says, I was the only skin grease around, so I was stay pressed and leather jacket and a grey trilby with a black band. Aha, 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 aha. But David, you are slightly older than me. I'm probably slightly older than a lot of the rest of the people, but you're slightly older than me, David. So that probably makes sense as to why. As to why. Right. I'm going to go back to the starred questions that I've got. So the Anthony not Joshua I've asked. Right. Kells is asking me a question. Um, Kells is asking, "Hi, Eltel. What position does Spurs need to strengthen most in the summer?" Right. The answer for me on this, Kells, right, and I said this earlier on Colin's Talk and Ball show, right. The answer for me on this is we need to move on players this summer. It's equally important to move the players on for me rather than the players that we look for to bring in, and it all depends on what Ange and the coaching team see as the players that they want to keep. Well, excuse me, are the players that want to let go because we've got five bodies out there on loan at the moment. So the five people have to be sold basically. So you're looking at um, Joe Rodon, um, Jed Spence, Endon Bailey, Reguilon, and Tanganga. So them five players probably don't have an opportunity, or the most of them don't have an opportunity to play in the first team next season. So therefore, with them people, what we need to do is we need to move them on. But if you move them on, and this is where people, I don't know whether people look into it any deeper than that, but if you move them five players on, you're still stuck with 25 players. So if you're stuck with 25 players and you want to bring players in, look who it is. Hello, finally, I've got you.
Gracias.
No worries. I'm just answering this question for Kel, and then I'll admit to you. But so you need to get rid of the five players that you've got out on loan. That leaves you with a squad of 25 players as you are now. It's all dependent on what the manager wants on players that he doesn't see fitting in next season. And with that, you've got to then move them out. But you can only move players out to bring players in to fit that squad unless they're under 21, which means that then don't count. So it's all dependent on what Ange doesn't on who Ange doesn't see being part of his squad next year, because you're going to have to replace them, and that's where the positions you'll find out what positions you need your players for. And he also likes players that can play multiple positions, that can play multiple roles. So I hope that answers it for you, Kels. I know you're not here, but you put the question in, and I'm going to answer it. So if you did go and play back, you can see that I've not been ignorant. I've caught up with the questions, and now I've answered it. Right, my dear, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm not bad. You are storming it. You are doing well.
We're getting
Ah,
there slowly.
no, 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 no. You say, I'll tell you what, watching you from since last week, your numbers have flown. You're doing really,
Yeah, they're
really
doing all
well.
right.
Yeah, you're
Yeah, but we
doing really,
help
really
each other
well.
in it. You know what I mean? Like that's what
Yeah,
it's all about,
but
innit?
it's not, and it's nice. I like that you're doing well because you cover a whole aspect and a whole lot of different things, which is really, really to your it's kudos to you, and it measures. You can see the amount of blue spanners you got. Oh, never seen so many blue spanners in my life.
we we have to be pragmatic, unfortunately, because we've had a few trolls coming in.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, for people in the chat, I think everyone in the chat at the moment should know who you are because they've all gone over to you already. But this is Jess from uh, JSY Talks Football. She's the lady that I've been telling you all about, and I've been trying to get her on here for ages, and it's just so difficult when you ain't got a phone. It's difficult because what we normally do ourselves is within the content creators, we send each other's the links because we've got each other on WhatsApp, and it's a lot easier to do. Um, so it's been hard to get hold of you, but then I just thought to myself, do you know what? If you're in there, I'm going to get you on tonight. So I'm glad I've got you on. I'm glad I've
Absolutely.
got you
Nice
on.
to be here. Nice to be here.
And how did it go? How does your watch along?
Yeah, good. Really good with Kels and Colin. Yeah, really good. Good Wales
It's like
win. Deserved.
4-1, 4-1 in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How did
Your
Poland
boy
finish?
Davis. I think they finished 5-5 up. I think they were 5-1 up, Poland. So,
Because they had a player sent off the Stony, didn't they?
yeah. Yeah, it'll be an
And
interesting game that next week.
where is it? Is it in Poland or in Wales?
Wales.
Oh, they got home advantage.
Mm,
Oh,
interesting.
yeah, it is very much so. God, bloody hell, yeah, it is interesting. We got Lawrence saying, "Who's my guest?" As if brother Lawrence doesn't know.
Lawrence.
Yeah, he's asking me who's the guest.
Jose, who's your guest?
Right, what we got? We've got. Can anybody remember the Adidas multicolored tracksuit? I don't know where it was from, but we didn't have a lot of money, so no doubt off the back of a lorry. There was a fair few multicolored tracksuits back in the days when I was growing up. God. Um, and who remembers Benetton? Yeah, I remember Benetton. The United colours of Benetton. I used to have a Benetton rugby top, the blue and white, the blue and white one with the Benetton going right across it. When I was a youngster. So, right, I've got some more questions here, but so the question that we got from Graham, and I'll let you as my guest go first. It says, "You're only allowed to listen to one song for the rest of your life. What would it be?"
Um, Papa was a Rolling Stone for me. Temptations, I think it was.
Oh,
Is it Temptations
great.
that's it? Am I right? I'm
Papa
not
was a
sure.
Rolling Stone. It was done by a few.
No.
Well, it's been covered by a few people, isn't it? What
Mm-hmm.
a what a good. That's a good answer. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Yeah. If you're only allowed to listen to one song for the rest of your life, what would it be? Um, I like listening to Maria by Santana. Um, yeah, it's just yeah, it's always in my head. So I like Maria by Carlos Santana. So that would be mine. What say you in the chat? Brother Lawrence is saying blowing bubbles for me. Spurs Graham is saying love will tear us apart by the Joy Division. Ryan says I have too many songs. It would depend on my mood. That's not the question. The question is what one, if you're allowed to listen, which one? Doesn't say that you can be in a mood or whatever. Right, it's a bit weird because they've asked me a question here, and it's a cheeky question from Mark Cook, right? And he's saying, right, you can buy, sell, or bench Joe Jury, Subaka, or Emma Raducanu.
Ooh. Ooh, where you going? Buy Emma Ricardo, sell Sue
Yeah,
Baker, and bench Joe Jury for me.
I would buy Joe Jury because I thought she was the best out of these three players, even though Emma Raducanu's won a bloody major. But I don't know. She won it during COVID. I remember watching it during COVID because there was no fans allowed to be in the US Open. And I remember watching her in every round, and I thought to myself, she can win this. She can win this. From round one, she just seemed to have guts and determination. But since then, I don't know what's happened. And all the other ladies around in the tennis game, I see them getting better and stronger. And I don't see Raducanu following suit at the moment. So I'd go for Joe Jury to buy. I'd sell Subaka and I'd probably bench Emma Raducanu. Steve D, good evening. Steve D is here saying, hi guys, sympathy for the devil. Um, Dekaru says for him it'd be Foo Fighter, Everlong from the Foo Fighters. Um, and Ryan G's coming with, I don't know who Joe Jury is. I need to work out how old Ryan G is. Who else you got it? You've got another one. You've got Ryan G saying so he'd buy Sue Barker, he'd bench Raducanu and sell Joe Jury. Mark Cook is saying he'd play Venga Boys, We Like to Party. You're having an absolute laughing, yeah. Venga Boys, We Like to Party. Daniel Lee is now coming saying, who the hell is Joe Jury? These people are really young, aren't they? An audio artisan is saying The Cinnamon by Nina Simone. Not a bad shout either. Not a bad shout. Um, Ryan G says, I know the Venga boys and I love them. Right. Okay. Next question I got is coming from Graham again. He says, keep, bench, or sell snakes, spiders, and wasps.
Keep wasps, sell spiders, bench snakes for me.
Oh, ooh, keep, bench, and sell. I'd probably keep snakes, bench the spiders, and sell the wasps because I wouldn't know what to do with wasps. I know where I can put. I know where I can put snakes, and I know where I can put spiders. You can put them in bloody the glass houses and all that, but I wouldn't know where to put wasps. Absolutely madness. Uh, Ryan G saying he'd keep spiders, smack the wasps, and sell the snakes. Graham's will keep the snakes, bench the spiders, and sell the wasps. And Danny is keeping the spiders, keeping the snakes, and selling the wasps. So he wants to keep both, but sell the wasps. And Daikaru says, hit me with your rhythm stick. Isn't that Joe Jury? No, hit me with your rhythm stick was Ian Jury. It was a song from back in the 70s. It was Ian Jury. Um, Ryan G says, I don't mind spiders, but despise the other two. And then the last question that we got for the moment, I was going to do this on a special when we had you on, right? And when we could have some of your crowd over. But we've been asked a question, so I can't do it now. We were going to do it as a keep, bench, and sell for you. But audio has beaten me to it because these are the three players that we were going to do. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
So, for all you Leeds people that are still here, right? And Jesse's going first on this, and I'll answer this as well. Keep, bench, or sell Radaby, Ferdinand, Woodgate. These are the exact three players that I had lined up for a keep, bench, and sell special for the Leeds people. So it's interesting that Audio's also picked them because I've not spoken to Audio about this at all, and he's coming with that. So
Keep Radaby, bench Woodgate, sell Ferdinand for me.
ooh, right. Danny has gone keep Radaby, sell Ferdinand, bench Woodgate. You're
That does not surprise me.
you're all going to have your own opinions as to reason as to why. Stu's gone keep Radaby, sell Ferdinand, bench Woodgate. Ryan G's keeping Ferdinand, benching Woodgate, and goodbye to Radaby. Now, the fact that obviously you're a Leeds fan, so the fact that the Leeds fans are all saying keep Radaby, what was it about Radaby that makes you want to keep him? So
Do you know
why
what,
is your
if Ferdinand wouldn't have gone to Manchester United, I would have
Yeah.
said kept Ferdinand, but that's the reason why. I just thought Radaby were always solid. Always gave a
Right.
good performance for Leeds, Radaby for me. What is it? Never say die attitude with him. And he's a chief, yeah, like Stu said, he's a chief. Absolutely.
And who did you
Good
say
player.
that you were? Who did you say you were benching?
Woodgate.
And what? So why are you benching Woodgate?
Because you know what, I think for Woodgate, he was very unlucky with injuries. He were at Real Madrid and got injured. Newcastle didn't do very well at Newcastle injuries. Leeds probably got the best years out of Woodgate. And for the niggles that he got in the injuries, he'd have been a world top class player, Woodgate. I thought he was a
Mm.
solid defender, really good in the air, physical, strong, old school defender for me. But yeah, I like Woodgate, good player. Shame about his
And
injuries.
and selling Ferdinand for the reason you just said about Man United.
Yeah, that's the reason why. Yeah, and I'm not into when he missed that drug test for me, mate. It don't always. There's always that skepticism in there with it. So no, but if he'd have gone anywhere else, but Manchester United would have kept him, but because he went where he did. No, most Leeds fans will say the same.
Mm. So because it's easier to speak to you because on screen it's easy for us to explain why we're keeping benching and selling, and the
Hmm.
people in the chat because you can only type 250 words. It's quite difficult for in the chat to explain as to why. So it's interesting to get people's thoughts when they're on screen. Good evening, Leo from Mile High Hotspurs here as well. Good evening from Denver. I hope everything is well with you, Leo. Uh, David Clark is saying he'd keep Ferdinand, he'd bench Woodgate, and he'd sell Radaby. The Yeah, and he's a chief. Yeah, Danny's saying Radaby was a player we got for free and could play in goal and turn down the scum.
He did.
Um, I benched Woodgate because he chinned someone outside a nightclub. Uh, Danny is saying Radaby was injury prone towards the end of his end of towards the end, but was class for Leeds. Now, me in answering this, right? I remember Lucas Radaby, and I do remember football because I'm a bit older, so I do remember these players playing for Leeds, and I thought Radaby was a decent player, but my choice, and I'm not a Leeds fan, so my choices are going to be for different reasons. I felt the classiest player out of them three, the Rolls Royce out of the three, I felt was Ferdinand. Ferdinand was pure Rolls Royce. He was Rolls Royce material. Yeah, you're right in some of the about the drug test and stuff like that. But just for footballing, Rolls and he had awareness and the thought and that. I thought that he was superb. So I would keep Ferdinand myself. But then again, I haven't got the Leeds connection to talk about like you guys have. It's the same as when we do something. You lot might see it differently to what we do because you haven't got the Tottenham connection. The one that I'm benching is Woodgate, and for me, I felt Woodgate. You're quite right. I'm not going to disagree with you. Woodgate for me was on the verge of being world class. When he
Mhm.
went to Real Madrid, the world was his oyster at that time. He was still young enough when he went there, and the world was his oyster. And yeah, he got the injuries at Real. Yeah, he was injured at Newcastle. Yeah, he was injured at Tottenham, and his career was never the same after he left Leeds. It was never the same because he didn't play that much for
Quick,
Real
get
Madrid
dog.
either.
Oh, one of dogs.
That's all right. He didn't play for Real Madrid that much either. So therefore, you're quite right. You probably did see the best of him, but I saw enough of him to tell me what a good centre half he was. And Radaby for me was more out of the three was more of a workman-like centre back out of the three of them. He didn't have the naturals that the other two had. So therefore, for me, I'd have to go with um, I'll have to go with Radaby. So, and as I said, I'm not a Leeds United supporter, so that's why I probably sound different to what you guys, Leeds supporters, would do, because obviously being closer to the club, you'd have a whole host of different reasons as to what I've got. So, that is a question that's coming from audio, and that is mine and Jess's answer. Um, what's it? Dekari says, "Long live the mop-ups. They're so random," and that's what they're meant to be. It's meant to be a bit of fun on a Thursday night. Everything gets serious in life. It's only meant to be a bit of fun on a Thursday night. So, but if people have got football questions, but obviously people are not interested in. They weren't interested in the internationals and stuff like that because no one's even talking about that tonight either. So, um, if Ferdinand didn't go to Scum, I'd have kept him, but he was the Rolls Royce of a player. Um, and he says he thinks that Woodgate went to Madrid a little too early in his career. I don't know how old Woodgate was when he went there, but I remember Leeds. Was it Rizdale that went there and got you in trouble?
Yeah,
Right.
bankrupted club.
Yeah, and then therefore you had to have a fire sale to get rid of all your assets because you had to bring the money in, so you had to get rid of all your assets. So where you're saying he's a little early for in his career, his hand was, I think Leeds' hands were forced, and I had to sell the players off because no sooner that him Ferdinand went, uh, what's his name, Harry Kuehl went as well. Um, I think the player that stayed the longest with you, even after all the turmoil, was Viduka, weren't it? Viduka stayed. He probably hung on one of the longest, didn't he?
Hmm.
Out of all them lot.
He did. We've come
Mm.
from dark days at Leeds to where we are now, and thank God we're in good ownership now, because it were grim times being a Leeds fan back then.
But a few years ago, Jesse, didn't you have a mad Italian owning you?
Yes,
But
yes,
there
Rosini.
was a mad Italian there, weren't there? About
Yeah, Rosini.
5 years ago, and he was like kamikaze, weren't he? At
Him and
Leeds.
Victor are roadkill, absolute roadkill. Them two. No, we're in really good owners now. 49ers know what they're doing, but yeah, for a few seasons, that's why we got so many players in that want to. How can we put it in nicer ways? To Leeds' standard. First season we did all right, but them 2 seasons, no. Luckily they've sold the club now and we're in better times, better
Yeah,
place.
yeah, yeah. And I
Stu's
think
right,
you,
Massimo Cellino, yeah.
yeah, I think you, well, you can see it, can't you? You can see how far Leeds have come since the days of that Italian owner. I remember, as I said, they're not my team, but I remember reading all about this mad Italian, and he was doing
Mm,
kamikaze stuff with the club. So yeah, it's good, it's good, and yeah, I want to see, on a personal level, for me personally, I want to see Leeds back up there. I want to see Leeds back in the
absolutely.
Premiership. You've got Ellen Road as a Premiership ground. I haven't been to Ellen Road since 1996, but
Wow.
it's a Premiership ground.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether they've done it up a little bit because 1996 was a long time ago.
No,
Okay,
no, they but they want to redevelop it to about 55,000 Elm Road. As soon
okay,
as we get in that Premiership, that's where they'll spend the money at 49ers, but when we're up in league, in Premier.
cool. Well, that's good. That's good. Um, got some more questions coming in. So we've got four more that have just come in. No, three more. So that was for Jess. Right. Do you like movies?
Yeah, I don't mind movies, to be fair,
Okay.
yeah.
A keep, bench, and sell. I bet you've never seen a keep, bench, and sell on any other channel until you watched us.
No, that's true. Something different though. It's good. I enjoy it. It's something different.
A keep, bench, and sell. Steven Seagal, John Claude Van Damme, or Jackie Chan.
I do like Steven Seagal, so I'd probably keep Steven Seagal. I've watched a lot of his films. I'd bench Van Damme and I'd sell Jackie Chan for me. Just want my cup of tea, Jackie Chan.
Right. Okay. Right. So for me, Paul G's in the house. Good evening, Paul. How are you, sir? I hope you're well. I hope you're well. Um, so for me, it's right. I'm gonna keep. Who did I like? Did I like Seagal or did I like Van Damme? I like Seagal's films. They're older. They're older now. Jackie Chan's a newer one. Van Damme was just after Seagal. Um, I've watched all the films from Seagal and Van Damme, so I'm gonna go as it's written. I'm gonna go keep Seagal, bench Van Damme, and sell Jackie Chan. And we have got in the chat, um, right, Ryan G saying that they're also going up to 50,000 in their stadium as well. Um, Ryan G says, did Alan Smith stay or go to United as well at that time? I think he went to United, to be honest, Ryan, because they had to do a fire sale. They had to get rid of everyone, didn't they? No, Jess, the mad Italian before Radrizzani.
Yeah, we know.
Cellino made the players bring packed lunches in for their dinner.
Forgot about that, Danny. Wow, yeah.
I tell you what, we know none of this stuff. We're learning things because we knew none of this stuff at all. So we're learning here. We knew none of it. Um, yeah, evening, Paul, mate. How are you? Then you've got um, Ryan saying he'd keep Jackie Chan, he'd bench Van Damme, and he'll sell Seagal. Danny is keeping Seagal, selling Chan, and benching his uncle John Claude. Stewie is keeping Jackie Chan, selling Seagal, and benching Van Damme. Dekaru says, when I first got into English football, I'd already got my Spurs shirt and made my allegiance. But we had two Aussies in Leeds, so I've always wanted them to succeed. Dekaru is currently, it must be 9:32 in the morning because Dekaru is 11 hours ahead of us in Oz. So it's 9:32 in the morning for Dekaru on Friday morning. So if you've got the lottery numbers, Dekaru, fire them all our way. The lottery's for tomorrow. Tell us tonight what it is, and we'll all lump on. Or tell us who's won the horse races, or give us something that we can bet on that you've already got the result for. Right, then you've got Paul G saying, I'll keep Jackie Chan, I'd sell Seagal, and I'd bench Van Damme. Dekaru's keeping Jackie Chan, benching Van Damme, selling Seagal. Seagal took becoming a Navy SEAL too literally. He's fatter than a SEAL these days. Stu from Disabled Team says, Chiellino was always drunk.
That is true.
Danny saying he also didn't like the colour purple and blocked the number 17 shirt as well, Jose. You lot have had some things going on that we know nothing about. This is like voodoo magic, where we're getting told all about voodoo. You must have had a lot of voodoo going on there. Right, Paul G. It's not a question, but Paul G is saying, I know I'm late to the party, so I'll just put it up there. He's saying, oh no, right, let's see. He says, I know I'm late to the party. And so late, but the question has already been said. Am I late to the party? How's Rodon doing at Leeds? So now, rather than typing everything out, I can hear what your views are.
Fantastically well, Paul. I suppose majority of Leeds fans here will say we'd like him. He's been solid for us this season. He covers so well, strong in the air, old school defender. He will take a whack, a blow to the face, and he still won't come off. Been really good for Leeds this season. Probably one of our players at season, Rodon, and had a stellar game for Wales again tonight. Really, really well. If we can get a deal in with you, we'd snap him off your hands. He's fantastic. He really is a good defender. Can't understand why he hadn't had a sniff at Tottenham, really, because I know what Donny's going to say. He's not got the Premier League experience. But for me, if it's at Leeds, side before self, every time. Great player. Really happy with him. Jed Spence is a different story.
Yeah, I heard you lot. I saw what you lot were putting in the chat earlier about Jed Spence. I mean, we knew that when Jed Spence came over to Tottenham, we knew that there was baggage from previous clubs, not just Leeds. It was Middlesbrough as well, Forest, wherever he'd been. We knew that there was previous baggage because you actually got him on loan from us, didn't you? But before he went to you, we knew there was previous baggage, and we'd heard rumours and stories going on about his family turning up to the training ground and telling Antonio Conte, demanding that he should be in a team and stuff like that, and that his son's this and his son's that. So, and then hearing what you guys were typing in earlier about Jed Spence, about the hospital stuff. I mean, I don't know. Tell them about Jed Spence because then like that these guys will know because I don't know whether they all read what you were putting in there.
Yeah, he refused to go to a kids' hospital, and a lot of Leeds United players put the wages up, and Jed Spence refused. He was then called in for a meeting with Daniel Farker and was late for his meeting to say that they were cancelling loan and he were going back to Tottenham. Turned up late a lot of the time, very disrespectful. Thought he was a bit better than everybody else. And Daniel Farker won't have that. Leeds United disruptive behaviour, bad attitude. You're gone. He will not have it. Yeah, quite
And
a sour end to it at Leeds, to be fair.
I think that's what's happened at Tottenham as well, Jess, because hence why he's not stayed and he's been farmed out to different loans. Obviously, he's gone to Leeds and now he's gone to Genoa. But by all accounts at Genoa, apparently he's kept his nose clean, and the Genoans are, or the is it Genoa or Bologna, whoever it is, with the Italian sauce, but they're absolutely in love with the fella, and they're saying, they want to keep him, and that he's not done anything wrong, and he's changed, and, turned a new leaf and all that. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, the only way I can see, people were talking the other day on X, or people were messaging on X and whatever and saying to each other that there's a theory that if he carries on doing what he's doing in Italy, that Tottenham will take him back, sell Royale, and use him as the cover or the challenger for Porro's position. But if I remember rightly, and I remember seeing all this, but if I remember rightly, when we bought Dragusin from Genoa, part of the deal was that Jed Spence would go over there on loan with an option to buy. And there's already a number that's been given, and I think it was something like 8 million or 10 million to buy him. So they can kick the option in and they can just buy him, and then Tottenham just don't get him back at all. So when I saw these other comments coming out, I thought to myself, I'm sure there's an obligation to buy in there. So that means he won't return to Tottenham anyway. So I don't know where these stories are coming from that he could come back and challenge. So
Mm,
just wanted to say hello to. Have you met Chang before? Have you seen Chang
no,
before? Okay.
no.
So Chang is from Kuala Lumpur, and he's so kind. You can see it in the way that he writes. He's such a gentleman. A very good Friday. So for him, it's already Friday, March the 22nd, because he's 8 hours in front of us. So Chang is probably on his way to work, right? And it must be 6:30 in the morning there. He says, "Morning to Senor Garcia and chat viewers. Looking forward to my 11 a.m. UK time show with Queen Ellie in 12 hours time. Thank you, Jefe, for inviting me to fill in for Miss Ash. Come on, you Spurs. I will send you the link, Chan, and I will be here tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. Although I'm working, I'll be here to start the show off for you guys. And I wish you and Ellie a really, really good show tomorrow." Um, and then he's saying hello to everyone as well that's in the chat. Yeah, he just don't stop, does he? Adrian. Adrian, have you met Adrian before? Adrian, the older fellow with the robe.
No, mate, I
Always,
haven't.
always wears his robe, Adrian. Good evening, Adrian, mate. I hope you're well. Adrian saying to us, Dragusin can play at right back, get rid of Spence and Emerson. Um, wow, Spurs. Danny's brilliant. Wow, Spurs robbing Genoa of 8 million. Yeah. Daniel Lee's kind words. Always like his kind views, Daniel. Don't want that Spence ever playing for my club again.
I agree, mate.
Right. So there you go. So people, you've asked about the Rodon. So my opinion on Rodon, and I'm not deviating from this. Rodon will go to Leeds, right? What he wants or what they want is between 12 and 15 mil. I think the deal gets done, right? And once the deal gets done, um, I think that Rodon is a man of his word. He's a man of honour, right? And right, Paul G. If you look just above, Jesse is just above, mate. So go sub to Jesse just there, Paul. Yeah, she's superb, Jessie. So go sub to her. We went and helped her out tonight by giving her some likes and stuff like that. Her channel's growing. She does all types of football, and yeah, she's absolutely brilliant. And so's her crowd that she has as well. They're all superb as well. And if you ever go in there, tell me what the favourite colour is in the chat. That's all I'm just going to say. Yeah, what's the favourite colour in the chat? So
That is true.
to do that. So yeah, for me, he's a man of his word, Jess, and I think even though he's had a really good season at Leeds, right? And you might think that there'll be other clubs sniffing round him. If there were, I think he still chooses Leeds. So for me, I think it's all but done. Barring any injury to the man, then I think the deal is all but done. I think he goes to Leeds. So I've got no issue at all. I think that you guys want him, and he'll be happy to go to you guys. So yeah. Audio's just subbed to you. He's just said, "Thank you, Audio."
Nice. Thank
And
you.
looks like Paul G's going over to you as well, which is good. Um, and Tot Spurs, who's mod, he says, "You hope you didn't mind me calling you Jess and not by your full name." No, that's fine.
It's
That's
all
fine.
good.
Sub to Jess, yeah, because her name is Jess, but the channel is called um, JSY Talks Football. So yeah, go over a sub. Let's help her out. Let's help her out, man. Um, what's he saying here? Danny. Danny's brilliant. He types quicker than what I can talk. I don't think he comes, Jose. Don't know why, but just have this gut feeling. Danny is going there. I'm telling you, mate, he's going there. I have no qualms whatsoever that he goes to you. Um, how much are Leeds willing to pay? Adrian saying Spurs will want 12 to 15. for a player of his an international standing that he's got on that 15 million, even if it were 15 million, that's dirt cheap for a player like him. Um,
I agree.
but like I said before, I think that with this summer, because of what's happening with FFP and stuff like that, I don't think clubs can demand the kind of deals that they were getting years gone by. And at the end of the day, I don't think players are going to go for all these big amounts of money. So yeah. Thank you very much. So Paul G's just subbed to you as well. We'll be seeing more of Jess once Jess gets a phone. Because it makes it easier for me. We'll be seeing more and more of Jess. Don't worry. She's really a grand girl, and we're happy to support her. And yeah, we'll see more of her. So for there's people here in the chat that already know Jess because they go over and watch her channel. And I implore you all guys, if you ever see that she's on, go to her channel and hit a like because you're already subscribed. But hit the like button because Jess likes that like button being stroked.
I do like that like button being stroked.
There
Yeah.
we go. So yeah, so go over there and support her. Um, and so, Daniel's saying the one thing I'm surprised is Leeds did not insist on putting a buy clause at the end of the loan.
Mm.
Yeah, but I don't think I think when Leeds, it's like any club when you're going for them, unless the selling club or the club that's loaning them out, unless they insist on something like that, then it's within the gift of the club that's bidding for the player whether they want to put anything in there or not. And quite often, players that go out on loan don't go with an obligation to buy. It's quite often it's just a normal loan is what tends to happen. So I'm not surprised about that at all. Um, Danny says he's been told that Levy has told people to accept 8 to 13. I tell you what, it ain't going to be way off the mark from what all what we're saying. Um, Mark Cook, right? You've got Tottenham says I think Leeds would get him for 10 million or less, to be honest. And Mark Cook says he thinks Levy will want 20 million. There is no way that he'll want 20 million for Rodon. He won't. I'm telling you that this deal is right. The difference that we've got, right, is that with Rodon, he's a saleable. He's saleable, so we can sell him because he's saleable. Someone like Endon Bailey, he's going to be more difficult because he's not saleable. You're going to have to try and force him. You're going to have to try and do something to get him out of the club. Rodon is saleable, so Rodon's not going to be an issue and not going to be a problem at all. The problem comes with others. It won't come with Rodon. Um, the problem, in all honesty, the problem is going to be the other four that we have out on loan because I'm not sure whether Tanganga will want to go to Millwall. I think Tanganga may have thoughts that he's a better player than a championship player, so he may not want to. With Leeds, it's different because Leeds are going up, and if Leeds are going up, then Rodon's happy to be playing in the Premiership. Reguilon, I don't know what's going to happen to Reguilon. I don't know what happens to Endon Bailey, and I don't know if Jed Spence, by all probability, could go to Genoa. But yeah, I think that Rodon, I think we paid about 11 million for Rodon, there or thereabouts. 11 to 12 million it was for Rodon. So people are asking the question. So yeah, you get your money back on Rodon after three years. You've done well. But
Mm.
then he's retained his value. Other players at the club have not retained their value. So Daikaru Dice is good. He says, I'm loving the whole community thing. I live in a regional area here, so there's no one to hang out with, to hang out and chat EPL or Spurs with all. With all these channels and links are fantastic. Thank you very much for your support, Daikaru. Thank you very much. Um, Rodon only has a year left on his contract at Spurs. True. Um, and then you've got Mark Cook saying, he's so greedy, Jose. He paid 12 million for him, I think, didn't he? He always wants his money back, Jose. You know what he's like. And I'm saying you can probably get your money back on Rodon, but you're not going to go and start charging 20 mil for the man. At the end of the day, there's bigger fish to fry. You've got to trim that squad, and it ain't just going to be the lone players. There's going to be other players that you want to get out as well, and then you're going to look to bring players in. And unless they're all under 21s, they're going to have to fit your numbers in your squad. So, um, right, I've got another question. I'm going to give you another. Shall I do? I'll do the keep bench. I'll do the keep bench and so in a minute. So I'll go for this. Graham is saying Summer Olympics or Winter Olympics.
I like both, mate, to be quite honest. I don't mind Olympics, but if we're going to have to choose one, I'd probably got Summer Olympics.
What is it you like about the Winter Olympics, Jess?
I like tobogganing, I like all that kind of stuff, skiing, you know, what's that one where they roll it on thing and then they're there shuttling it like that. I like that. I
Curling,
don't
the
mind.
curling, yeah,
Curling, yeah.
curling, yeah, yeah.
Figure
Um,
skating.
there is quite a few sports then, isn't there? But I mean,
Mm.
I prefer the Summer Olympics. For me, it's all about doing the 100 meters and watching the 4 and watching the 8s and watching the 15s. I like all that. Um, so for me, because I like track and field, because I like the track and field. For me, I'm going to say Summer Olympics. But the speed skating they do as well when they put their hand down. they put
Yeah, yeah.
and they put their hand down on the floor. They're like as if they're on a motorbike doing a bend on one of them 900s and all that. They put their hand down on the floor. So yeah, it's all quite fun, I suppose, watching that. But I prefer the Summer Olympics. So that's that one. The one that we've got up, the last question that I've got at the moment. But before I go to that, I'm just going to see what people have said. Winter Olympics for Paul G all day. Danny's Winter Olympics. I prefer the cold. Ryan G, Summer Olympics. Winter Olympics is rubbish in his opinion. Adrian saying no Olympics. Stewie's Winter Olympics. Graham is saying Leeds will go up, so Jose and Jess need to do a joint watching on for Spurs versus Leeds. I think with the amount of people that Jess is getting to know, she can be doing a watch along with any Premiership club at the moment. It won't
That'd be
just have to
nice.
be Tottenham. It won't just have to be Tottenham because I've seen West Ham in her channel, I've seen Liverpool in her channel, I've seen Arsenal in her channel. So she's racking up the Premiership gang, should I say? Um, right. So the question that I've got starred here, and it's coming from Danny, and it's obviously going to be one for you and the Leeds fans first of all, because you're going to know these players better than us, and you'll have your reasons. Is keep bench or sell Viduka, Hasselbank, Yeboah.
Keep your bower. Bench Hasselbank Selvaduka for me.
Tell me why. Enlighten us as to why, so we understand the Leeds thinking, or you're thinking with Leeds.
Yeboah just speaks for himself. He's got some really good goals. Quality player. I like Yeboah. Really did like Yeboah. Danny likes Yeboah as well. Yeah, I really do like Yeboah. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank speaks for himself because of the career that he did have. Chelsea, Leeds. Very good striker. We probably a bit like Robbie Fowler when he came to Leeds as well from Liverpool. He's another player that I really liked at Leeds. But yeah, Viduka, I've got no bad blood with Viduka either. That was a really hard choice for me. Always played well for Leeds. Always give his heart and soul. Good Australian player. But yeah, if I were going to go my way, Yeboah, bench Hasselbank, and get rid of Viduka. But good times when we
Ooh.
had Kewell, Viduka, Smith. We've had some really good players in pass.
Yeah,
Really
you
good
have. Yeah,
players.
you have.
Really are.
You had Gary Speed, may rest in his peace. You had Strachan I remember Strachan in the days that he played with Leeds as well.
Gary
Um,
McAllister.
yeah, Gary Mack as well. You had there playing in midfield. Um, who was the Irish left back? You had Ian Hart.
Ian Hart, yeah,
Ian
wow.
Hart. And you had the right back as well. I can't remember if he's Irish or Scottish. You had a right back was really good there. Black hair.
Danny will probably know him. I'm a bit young, me, for some Jose.
I remember Dominic Matteo playing before
Dominic
he
Matteo, yeah.
Dominic Matteo playing for Leeds. You had our Paul Robinson, or was he your Paul Robinson playing at
They're a good
Leeds in goal?
goalkeeper.
He
Yeah.
was your Paul Robinson because we bought him from you, so he was your Paul Robinson. Yeah,
Fatty, Ian Hart.
you had loads
Wow.
of you had people. Adrian's going further back. Adrian's saying Johnny Giles and Eddie Gray. He's
Eddie
going
Gray.
Billy Bremner. He's going well back. He's going well back.
He
So
is, wow. Lorimer, Peter Lorimer. Yeah.
Lauren, Tony Carey, Alan Clark, Trevor Cherry, all great players from back in the day. Yeah, I remember them all as well, all in the
Yeah.
70s, them players. Um, Nigel Martin, yeah. David Seaman
Yeah.
was at Leeds as well. So, yeah, so they've had some players, Leeds, haven't they? They've had
Yeah.
some players. Um,
Mm,
Ian Hart was quality at free kicks, says Ryan G.
yes.
Paul G says Hart was fucking ridiculous. Danny says Batty, who never trained. But on the keep bench and sells, let me just go back because you've got Paul G says he'd keep Viduka, He'd sell Yeboah and he'd bench Hasselbank. Danny would keep Yeboah, bench Viduka, and sell Hasselwank. Stewie is keeping Yeboah, benching Hasselbank, and selling Viduka. Viduka and Kuhl, what times is what Paul G's saying. Mark Cook is going the same as you, Jess. He's saying he's going to go the same as you. And then you've got Paul Robinson is my client at work. Paul G saying Paul Robinson's his client at work. Okay.
Wow.
Danny saying Mick Jones, Paul Rennie, only man to stop Georgie Best
Very true,
out of a
isn't it?
game. Decari said Leeds definitely had some players. They should be back in the Premier League. They will be. Eric Bakker and Olivier Decourt were underrated as well from Daniel Lee. Adrian Shoker is going back. He's saying Paul Madeley. Paul Reaney. I'm sure it's Paul Madeley and Paul Reaney. Jackie Charlton. Norman Bite Your Legs Hunter. Yeah, I remember all these players as well. I remember Leeds from. I'm older, so I remember Leeds from old as well. So, but with me though, for my answer for this, and obviously I ain't Leeds, but for me, I would have kept Viduka. I felt Viduka out of these three was the team player out of the three of them. He'd link play and stuff like that, where the other two were out and out, probably out and out strikers. Hasselbank for me had more of a career than Yeboah, so I'd probably bench him. I'm selling Yeboah. I know Yeboah scored a couple of absolute worldies that will go down in the annals of history because they keep getting repeated. Whether you're Leeds or not, you'll always see the two volleys that Yeboah scored and that have come in off the bar. You're going to see them wherever you go. They're going to be two goals of the Premiership or the whatever it was at the time. So you're always going to see them. But I felt that for me, the team player was always Viduka. He'd link up the play and he'd link the team up. Hasselbank because of longevity and what he did. And for me, Yeboah is the one I got to sell because a couple of flashy goals don't make it for me. And I think Yeboah was only there one season, weren't he? Or if
I
it
think
was,
so.
if he was there more than one season, then it didn't seem to be. Thinking back about it, I just thought he hadn't been there that long. And you've got Colin in the
Two
house.
seasons. Two seasons he did for us. 47 appearances, 24 goals, which wasn't bad for him, to be
Yeah,
fair.
and how long was Hasselbank with you for?
Ooh, you're asking something. Let me check. I was going to say 2 years, but I might be wrong, so I'll check it.
Okay, well in that case, Hasselbank I thought had been at Leeds longer, but yeah, Yeboah Yeboah only did it at Leeds. He scored a couple of great, fantastic goals, but then I don't remember where he went.
Yeah,
Where and I
2 years. I thought I was right.
okay,
69
right.
appearances, 34 goals. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Yeah, but Yeboah, I don't know where Yeboah went after Leeds. He just like fell off
Germany, I
a cliff.
think.
Did he? He just like fell off a cliff. But I'll always remember the goals he scored with Leeds. Two of the volleys he scored with Leeds. So as I said, because I'm not Leeds, that's what I'm saying. My thinking would be different to you guys, and I think that when we do the Tottenham ones, your thinking would be different to us as well. So you got Collins here. Good evening, Colin. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. Adrian saying Don Revie was too loyal to Gary Sprake. You're going back some years. He went to Hamburg after Leeds, Jose, is what Danny's telling me. I swear I saw before that Gary Kelly. Gary Kelly is Ian Hart's uncle or a cousin. I could be wrong though. Gary Kelly's the one I was thinking of that played right back. Remember when I said there's a guy with a black hair? It was Gary Kelly.
Yes, Gary Kelly.
He was an international player as well. So I remember him playing as well. So yeah, so that was the keep bench and sell. And has anyone else got any more questions for us, or is that your lot? And or have you got any questions for me, Jess?
What are your thoughts on Daniel Levy in general? Are you an in or outer?
I'm neither. But
Middle.
if you heard, I'm neither. But if you heard what I said earlier, I don't know if you heard what I said earlier on the show earlier on Talk and Ball.
Talk or ball.
Yeah, I turned around and I said, for me, I will judge and give my opinion once the transfer window has closed in the summer, because for me, at the end of the day, I'm not one of these that's, people say you got to spend like massive amounts of money and bring stellar signings in and stuff like that. And for me, I just want to see whether Ange gets backed. And when I mean Ange gets backed, it's not about money. It's about getting him the players that he wants. If a player comes in on a free or a player costs you 10 mil, 20 mil, 30 mil, 40 mil, it's because he wants the player. Now, so we're looking at that Fulham centre half Tosin Adarabioyo. He's going on a free this summer, and
Mhm.
people are saying, yeah, but they're only going for him because he's a free. But he's a good player, and if he goes on a free, then you get him for a free. Why would you pay for someone if you can get him for free? So I will judge it, and if I feel that Ange has been backed, and Ange, because I think Ange is an honourable man, right?
Mhm.
I think Ange doesn't suffer fools gladly, and I think that if Ange thinks that they're taking the piss, and they're not doing what he needs and stuff like that. If he believes that, I think Ange will walk. I don't think Ange will stand there and say, "Yeah, I'll put up with this shit." I think he'll actually walk myself. So, for me, I will reserve judgment and I will make my decision on what my stance is by the end of the transfer window. Now, we could go out and buy 6 players that Ange wants by the middle of the transfer window, but I still won't judge it then. I'll wait
Mhm.
to the end because we got to get rid of players and stuff like that, and then I'll judge it then. So I'm not an in or outer. I don't. I don't lose my rag. I mean, obviously, before Levy come, we won trophies, and I've seen us win the trophies because I'm that old that I've seen us win the trophies. But then I've seen us go through a barren spell since Levy is here. I've seen us
Mm.
go for a barren spell. But then, at the end of the day, I had it ready for a show because I was going to go absolutely mad about it. I had I've still got it on my laptop at the moment. I've got like when Guardiola came, where he's finished in the seasons he's been there, especially the first season. I've got Klopp, who didn't finish anywhere for the first and didn't win anything for the first 4 years he was there. Um, you got Arteta, who didn't win. Okay, he won in his first season because Emery had got Arsenal practically to the FA Cup final, and they won the FA Cup final. So he got that as a token at the end of his season. It wasn't even a full season. He got that, but then ever since then he hasn't won nothing. But I can see progress in them teams that I'm referring to, and
Mhm.
then I look at the players that they've brought in, and how they've improved their team and what they did. And I like to see what Klopp's done. And I keep saying, Klopp, in 9 years, all these young ones that you've got playing for Liverpool now, they've been in the system, the Klopp system, for them 9 years. So they've gone right through it. They play the same football they do the first team. That's the way they're trained, and they've got a
Yeah.
pathway all the way through. We're only 8 months in with Ange. And for me, if you want to grow something, you've got to give it that time. Now, someone like Ferguson would turn around and say years ago, he'd say it takes about 10 years to get the products to come in from start to being a first team product. It's going to take 10 years. So Klopp's done it. Klopp, we can see he's in 9 years already. Guardiola's been at Man City 8 years or whatever, and you can start seeing people like Foden's come through. You got Oscar Bob, Cole Palmer's gone to Chelsea now, but he's come through. So you can see the fruits of their labour. They didn't happen overnight. You never had the
Yeah.
youngsters playing when they first took over, when Man City first got the oil money in 2008. You never saw all these youngsters coming through. They're starting to come through now or in the last few seasons because it takes time. So for me, I just want to see what happens by the end of the summer transfer window, and that's when I'll turn around and say whether I'm in support or I'm not in support. So it all depends on do you help. For me, you've got to help the team out. If you're there for footballing reasons, you need to help the team out, and to help the team out is to give Ange what he wants.
Mm. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's fair. I think you build the foundations and build up, don't you? And I think that's what they've got to do with Tottenham. Patience,
And I
a
have
little
to,
bit.
yeah. But the thing is that if you look at other teams, it's
Mm.
taken years. It's not
It
an
has,
overnight
yeah.
thing. It's
When
not
he
an
came
overnight
into Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp, I can remember that first team he ever started with, and you look at that team to what he's got to now and what he's built over 8 years. You know, last year when Liverpool had a bit of a slippy run, they were all saying, "Oh, Klopp's going, Klopp's out," and he's had to rebuild again at
thing.
the start of this summer transfer. And obviously, it's got a little bit too much for Jurgen Klopp. But where he started with Liverpool and what he's brought to Liverpool, Premier League, first time in 30 years, I do believe, and I said this earlier on my channel when we were talking about Tottenham just in general with Colin. I think he'll get you there. I think he'll win you the trophy, Ange. I think he's the right man in charge. I think back him, and he'll be very good for you. I really do.
Yeah,
I rate Tottenham. I like Tottenham. I think they're a good team.
I totally concur with what you're saying. I think, But like I said, he needs to back Ange for what Ange needs. Now, Ange
Yes.
isn't or hasn't been one of these people that wants a 60 million pound glory player. He's never asked for that. You know, all the players that have come in so far this season have all said they spoke to Ange or Ange spoke to them. So Ange has gone out of his way. So the deals are being done by the club. He's phoned them up and had a conversation with them all, and they've all said how they remember the conversation, the words that were being said, and stuff like that. And that made them go, yeah, we want to be with this man. We want to go to this club. So at the end of the day, let him do what you've brought him in for. That's to manage the side. He's got 4 year contract. Let him do his 4 years. Let him build for you and get you what you want for 4 years. Give him a chance. But I think what's happened with the fan base is that where we had Harry Kane and we sold Harry Kane and there was 30 goals that he scores. But I remember people in the summer saying, "Oh my God, we're going to be relegation candidates because we lose 30 goals. 30 goals puts us in relegation." And I was thinking to myself, it won't happen like that with Ange. It won't happen like that at all. Ange plays different football to the previous managers we've had for the last 4 years, and we're in for a good ride, is what I said in the
Mhm.
summer on my shows. And it's happened. Exactly that's happened. I never thought we'd be relegation. I never thought we'd be mid table. A lot of people did. Now, because we had such a good start to the season, then people's expectations are like, wow, we can do this now, we can do that now. I'm still of the opinion and have been that we're going to finish much higher than mid table. We'll finish much higher than 10th. But I'm also realist to say after 38 games, we will finish where we deserve to finish. Every
Mm.
team in the league would have played 38 games. You would have played each other twice. You finish where you deserve to be based on the results in them 38 games. So if that's fourth, fifth, eighth, ninth, 10th, whatever it is, you'll deserve your final spot over them 38 games.
Yeah, I agree. No, I
It's
agree,
the,
mate.
it's the same as in the championship. In the championship, you deserve to be where you are after 46 games, not where you are
Absolutely.
after 39, not where you were after 23, not where you were after 10. After 46 games, you're going to get the position that you deserved. Simple. I just
Absolutely.
look at it. I just look at it like that, and looking at it like that, there's nothing. It's factual. You can't finish any higher than where you deserve to finish after the 38 game season. So
I agree. No, I agree.
um, you got Spurs. Graham saying that he's been supporting Spurs for donkeys and has seen various owners. I want to believe this ownership will now invest back and to get us back to the glory days. Mark Cook says the only thing Levy interested in is his bank balance. Um, then you've got Sanchez. Good evening, Sanchez. I hope you're well, brother. He says, been watching Ange's Celtic today. I came to the conclusion we are nothing like Celtic at the moment. Think another two plus window. Sorry, another two plus windows if he stays. Like I said, he's good. There's going to be more changes. Adrian says that when Klopp came, he had Moreno, Lovren, Karius, and players like that, and he ended up selling Coutinho, and we all know that he bought one in at the end of this one in I
Brought
can't remember
Virgil
who
van Dijk and he brought
the
Allison
keeper.
in for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, Allison at Roma,
but
won
with,
it? Yeah.
but with the money, I think he bought one in the winter transfer window, and one of them came in the summer
Mm.
transfer window. So all within 6 months of each other, them two had come into the club with the Coutinho money. Um, Spurs, you see, so Graham says again, owners have been in for 24 years. A decade was ruled by Chelsea, then the next by City. We now have a stadium and the facilities and are in a sound position to kick on.
I agree with that.
Um, Ange has inherited a good squad generally. Paul, I don't know whether he has or not, because if you look at the amount of players that have left, I mean, I keep saying, um, if you look at the squad that finished last season, and I look at the squad we have now, so that's 2 windows later, so that's the winter and summer window have gone. Our squad looks like night and day. If you realise the players that we've got out from last season's squad, it's night and day. And then hopefully this is going to change again. Um, and then you've got Danny saying that's why I'm saying if we go up this season and we finish 16th, he'd be happy. So just to be in the Premiership. For Leeds. Mark Cook says, as much as he was despised, uh, August saved this club from extinction. The period was not brilliant, but we are still here. Smithy, yeah, no problems, son. No problems at all, mate. I'm surprised that you wanted to watch fucking Celebrity Big Brother. You asked me for the link, and then you tell me you're watching Celebrity Big Brother. You absolute loon. I'm starting to question you now, Lee. No, I'm only joking. And we got a question there from Danny. It says, Jess, question about Liverpool. After going out of the FA Cup, do you still reckon Klopp can win both the league and the Europa League? Daniel's personal opinion, he still thinks they can.
I think they won the Europa League, Daniel. I'm not so sure on Premiership. I know Tottenham are going to have a bid saying that. If I were, as long as Arsenal don't win it, at free, I'd rather Liverpool win it. It'd be a nice way to send Klopp off. Do I think Liverpool will do it? No, I think Man City will just pip us to it. I really do.
I think
Are
that
you Liverpool going to win league? See, my son's a massive Liverpool fan. Massive.
Yeah.
Are Liverpool going to win league?
Yeah.
And he says they're going to win league.
Right. So for me, right, if you're asking me this question, I think Liverpool have got a stellar chance of winning the Europa League. And I think at the moment, for me, the favourites to win the Premiership is Man City, only because they've been there, seen it, done it. It's the only reason why I'm saying City. City find a way towards the end of the season. I don't know how many times. I don't know whether City have still got to play Liverpool. I know they've got to play Arsenal.
They've played Liverpool twice now.
Okay, so they've got to play, so they've still got to play Arsenal, and I think it's at the Etihad. It's the next game. I think.
Week on Sunday. Yeah. Liverpool play Brighton, and then Arsenal play Man City straight after.
Okay, so you got Arsenal, Man City is that game, and then and you're quite right. Tottenham have got to play all three sides still. Two of them at home. So we've got City at home, we've got Arsenal at home, and we've got the Scousers away.
You are.
But what we do know at the moment is that with Man City getting into the semi-finals, our game with Man City has now been called off because we had to play. I can't remember what order it was, but we had to play. I think it was Saturday, Thursday, Sunday. Them three games. All three of them were on the spin. The three games all back to back in 8 days. But Man City have now got into the semi-final, which now means that that game is being postponed because it's FA Cup final, semi-final week. But if Manchester City get through to the semi-finals of the Champions League, then the only time we can play Man City, the only week that they can rearrange that game for, is the final week of the season. So I think Sunday's the last games of the season on a Sunday. We'd have to fit that game in on a Wednesday or Thursday leading up to the final game of the season if Man City reach the semi-finals. And then we've also got to find time to play the Chelsea game as well. So, so that remains to be seen. I tell you what, people just started asking. I've got 3 questions. People just started asking questions again. Scott M, good evening, Scotty from Canada. Nice to see you, Paddy. He says, yeah, VDV joined in the January and Allison joined 6 months later in July, which is, it's all the same money. It was all the Coutinho money, but they made these 2 signings, which obviously revolutionised the side. Daniel saying, do you think West Ham will knock out Leverkusen?
It's Brother Lawrence link chat because he'll kill me for saying this. I'll go West Ham, Brother Lawrence, just for you. I think Leverkusen will probably just win that one. I know they'll have some of the better players back by then as well. I know he's going to kill me for this on Saturday. He's going to roast me for that. I'm going to go Leverkusen. Hopefully he's not still here.
I am going to say West Ham have got a great opportunity of knocking Leverkusen out. If you watched Leverkusen in the last round, they struggled, right? And I think Leverkusen's eggs are more in the basket of winning that league, not slipping up and winning the German league. And if they're still in European competition and I haven't sewn the league up, I'm talking mathematically, if they've not been able to set up by then I think their eggs are going to be in the basket. They want that league. They want that league more than any other trophy. And so, with that being said, I think that they'd probably may save some legs in the European games because they really do want the league. That's my personal opinion. So I think West Ham do have a chance of getting through. Who you got here? I'm trying to see if there's another question there. Right, Daniel Lee's asked one. Right, Daniel, yes, Leverkusen is better wrestler. Right, Mark Cook, you've asked one, so I've starred your one. It just City will win the league by 6 points minimum, is what Scott M says. Ryan G reckons City will win the league. Smithy is saying, I'll tell you the truth, Jose, it's not my thing, but there was a MILF on there called Ekin Su, so I was drawn in. I tell you what, you're such a shameless person, Smithy. Uh, Daniel Sandoval has just joined us, the chef from Bolivia, Daniel, who lives in Sweden. Nice to see you, mate. Nice to see you. Uh, Daniel Lee says, I agree with Harry. I think Liverpool win it, and I think us having Arsenal City at home and Liverpool away favours Liverpool. Then we've got people saying hello to each other. I just want to make sure there's another question as well, so I've got to start that one. And Mia is in the house. Good evening, Mia. How are you? I hope you're all well. And have I started the last question? These are going to be the last questions that we ask, I think, because it's nearly 11:15. Liverpool will win the league from Colin. He says that Liverpool will win the league. Jota back for the last month.
That's true, Colin.
Angels on 3 cups. Liverpool win our egg cups. Right. Okay. Yeah. You obviously know what's going on. I haven't got a clue what's being said there, but
it just likes winding Angels up. It's Danny's sense of humour.
All right. Right. So we've got 3 questions, and then I'm going to call it a night. So, first one is, question for me. Do you truly believe in your heart that Levy will back Ange to get the right players in? I have said that I'm going to reserve judgment until the end of the transfer window. And I can't say any clearer than, to me, Mark, I think that Ange is a honourable man. And if Ange thinks they're taking the piss, right, and Ange thinks that he's not going to get the players that he wants, or he thinks the club are taking the piss, or have gone back on anything or whatever, I believe that Ange will walk. Ange won't wait. Ange will walk. I just think he's that kind of a man, and he's an honourable person. And I believe also as well that if he walked, he could walk into another job anywhere else quite quickly. Whether it's Premiership, whether it's a Spanish league, the German league, Italian, I think he'll get a job quite quickly. I don't think he suffers fools gladly. If he's pissed about, I think he will go and he will walk. So the truth will be in the summer. And I've got to wait and give the summer a chance. And then by the end of the summer, I'll know exactly where I stand on it. So that's my thoughts on that, Mark. Tot Spurs. Is Jesse's son worried about playing Spurs as we have VIR on our side for the match?
Have you heard that one, Annie? Look, you're worried because I've got VR on the side. What happened at White? We played Tottenham at start of the season with that goal.
Oh yeah.
You're worried? No, he's not worried.
He just went, no, yeah.
He's like,
He's like,
they
no.
get their hopes up and then they don't win a trophy.
Oh, there we go. So Tot Spurs is giving it back to your son. So yeah. So you got it there. Right, you've got good evening to Luca as well. Luca's in the chat. I'm sure I saw him come in. Yeah, there's Luca's in the chat. Good evening, Luca. I hope you're well, mate. He says he's got a new video out, so go and check it out. He says. So it's Luca AFC. What did he say? Thanks for a fantastic start to my Friday off, Dekaru says. No problems, mate. Thank you for being here. Mark Cook says, fair do for the reply, Jose, on Levy. Dekaru says, I think Jose's 100% correct. If Levy messes Ange around, Ange will go. I believe he will. That's me. Colin says, Levy knows he's a big manager in Ange. He will give him the money. I hope he does. And then you've got Spurs should play the game again as Liverpool were robbed. That's what Leeds Angels is saying. Right, got two questions to go. I'm going to go for this one first, and then I'm going to do Adrian's lost. You've got Graham says, I have 3 sons. 2 support Liverpool and 1 supports Arsenal. Have I failed as a parent?
Well, it's better than supporting Manchester United, I suppose. Look at it like that. No?
I suppose, Graham, it all depends. Is your other halves, do they like football? Does that family support anyone? I suppose it depends, because if you're saying that your other half is that they're Liverpool supporters, then it makes kind of sense that the kids have followed at least one of the teams from one of the parents type thing, if that makes sense. So I think it all depends where the other half is. So Adrian Shoker is saying, yes, you've failed as a parent and as a human being. Mia's saying, my kids had no choice in my house. It's Spurs or nothing, mate. So, yeah, so you got that. Right, who else you got? Right, so that's that one. So I'll get that one out of the way. Sanchez is saying, Spurs GCTV, you've proper failed, bruv. Right, last question, and then I'm going to call it a night. Adrian Shoker says, what do the panel think about Everton and Forest points deduction? Leicester being threatened as well. How do you think it will affect promotion from the Championship and relegation from the Premier League?
Leicester's just been charged, others. That's not looking like it'll get done till probably next season. Notts Forest have got -4 on that they've been given, and Everton haven't been given anything yet. I'm doing a special on this tomorrow night, to be fair.
What time are you doing?
On 9:30 tomorrow night. I'm doing a special on FFP tomorrow, and it's not Leeds United, it's just in general. We do a ladies one every Friday. We have a different topic that we discuss every week. Renee, look, she's just popped into chat text.
Yeah,
And big up
I've
to Renee
seen
for
that.
joining us. Get
Good
up,
evening,
Renee.
Renee. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us as well. I'm just going to put you carry on with what you're doing. Mia does have a channel, Luca. I'll put hers in there as well. But go and carry on. Talk about tomorrow because I'm going to put your channel in.
Yeah, so me, Renee, Kels, and maybe another lady called Evie. We're going to go into FFP tomorrow a lot, really dig into this deep. But look, for me, if you've broke the rules, Jose, you have to, pay the consequences in that way. Leeds United have been, really cruelly treated. So I think 4 points. I think Nottingham Forest have got off quite lightly, Jose, to be fair. Take your 4 points and run. Everton, well, if I'd like to see any team relegated for me, I think Everton have rode the luck with it all. And Leicester, well, if Leicester don't go up this season, they're in shit streak massively.
Yeah. Right. I'm just trying to get this last channel up. Yeah. So I'll agree with you. I think with right. So sorry for Jessie's show tomorrow, 9:30. She's doing an FFP special on her channel. 3 to 4 ladies are going to be on there discussing FFP. So if you haven't done so already, sub over to Jessie at JSY Talks Football. The link's there in the chat. And yeah, I know that most people here have already subbed because we sent more people earlier on today or earlier on tonight, I should say. So yeah, go over, and if you're rewatching this on playback, I've done it about 3 times now. I've plugged it into the channel. So yeah, let's go and give Jessie some love over at the channel. And if you want to know more about FFP, then yeah, get over to Jessie's channel and do the FFP bit. And I'm now going to put Mia's in here because Luca's asked.
Yeah, I've subbed to. Is it Spurs Between the Lines?
Yeah, because also as well, we've got ladies in our community as well that have got channels. So you got Kate, just a girl who loves Spurs. You've got Mia with her channel that I'm going to plug in now. You've got Queen Ellie that does the chats as well. You've got Holly's Hot Spurs as well. There's quite a few women that we've got within the community that have got their own channels and do really well and provide really good content. I'm just trying to see if I can find her channel now because I don't know. I know it's got numbers at the end of it.
It's nice that you've got quite a few ladies in Tottenham, actually, Jose, because in Leeds United, it's very scarce in content creators for Leeds, women-wise in general.
Oh, it's scary. Some of the women we've got on, it's scary. They're scary women.
It's nice to see, though.
Yeah, they're scary women. No, they're fantastic, but they are scary women. So I've just put her channel in, Mia's channel now. If it comes up, it should do. Right, here it is. Spurs Between the Lines is Mia's channel. So if you want to sub over to Mia's channel, then please do so. She does a lot of shorts. She does dual streaming. She does member shows. So yeah, she's a really nice lady. So if you want to go and support Mia, there's Mia's channel there. Yeah, there's quite a few. Oh yeah, we've also got Ash. I've got Ash on my channel as well. So what I do, Jess, is because I work and that we've got people within the community that, for one reason or another, can't start their own channels, but are really
Mhm.
good supporters of the channel. So what I've done is I've given them a platform to do their show. So they use my channel to do their
That's really
show
nice of you to
and
do
that.
that. Really is.
So at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday, we get a show which is called A View from Asia, where I've got Chang from Malaysia and I've got Ash from India, and they do a show together at 11 in the morning. Obviously, they've drawn in people from their regions as well, so who've come over and become uh, subscribe to my channel, they subscribe to Talk and Ball, have become members at Talk and Ball as well. So it gets the word out there. And then on a Friday, 11 o'clock in the morning, we normally give the channel to Ellie, Queen Ellie, and to Ash, and they do what we call the Ladies Takeover Show, 11 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. So it's giving other people opportunities that haven't got the channels but want to do stuff. And yeah, they just end up coming out doing the shows, and we get people watching. So it's a free hit, so I get people, they know what they're doing, and I get people watching the show. So yeah, it works hand in hand. But we've got quite a few women within the community. Daniel Sandoval is saying, big up the women, one love. Yeah, one love. Adrian is saying, Jess, you talk sense.
Thank you very much, Adrian.
Adrian,
Much
go over and sub
appreciated.
to her. Go over and sub to Jessie. Jessie's superb, man. I met her a week ago, and we have hit it off in the week that we've been uh, talking and that, and going into each other's chats. And yeah, it's a really nice. You've got a really nice crowd over there. That's all I can say. A really nice crowd. And all I'm going to say to people, tongue in cheek, is tell me what colour the chat is. I just can't get over it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's hilarious for me. I laugh every time I go in there. It's fucking brilliant. What else you got coming up here? You've got get in there, Jose coming in from Leeds. Because says, sadly, I'm working when Ash and Chang are on, so I can't watch. You can also watch it on playback, Dekaru. I don't know. Are you going to be around for tomorrow's predictions, Dekaru? Because they're starting at 4 o'clock, and I have got games. All I've got to say, and I'm saying this politely, the Northerners have got a head start on us, because most of the games seem to be involving Northern teams, and all the Southerners, I don't know, seem to have a day off this weekend, because there's hardly no Southerners playing. So I'm just thinking to myself, we might get done this week because they're going to know their football compared to us up there. That's what I'm going to say now for the games that I've selected. I reckon you're going to know your football, you guys, and we're going to struggle this week big time, which is good, because the whole idea of bringing and doing the what's it called, doing the predictions this week, was to give an opportunity to the people to get more points. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So yeah, we'll see that. Spurs fans, I use Leeds playing you next season. Be kinder. Yeah, that's coming in for Leeds. So we're playing in. Danny's saying, he's giving it away. Look, he's saying Jesse's chat is blue.
Absolutely, Danny.
Right, Dakari, it's going to be 3 o'clock in the morning for you, mate. What I'll do is on the community page, I'll put the fixtures in after the show finishes for you. I'll put the fixtures in, and then you'll be able to see it, and then you can leave it. Yeah, you can leave it in the comments after the stream's finished, Dakari. You're more than welcome. Yeah. Ryan G says the Southern softies are having a day off. And then Mark Cook saying he's a Southerner living up north, Jose. I'm your super sub. And Luke is saying great video. Yeah, so all the people, Jess, that you've got that may not have entered or so far, tell your people, the more people to do predictions, the merrier. I want to see if we can get to 100 people that have done predictions before the end of the season. Never thought it'd get this big. We're on 84 people have predicted so far. We never thought it'd ever
Wow.
get this big. So, did you subscribe? Yeah, I've subscribed to you, Luca. I've gone over to you already, mate. So
I've subscribed, Luke. You should know that.
yeah, I've subscribed to you already. We're friendly up north.
We are.
And Danny's saying it's warm up north and it's cheaper. The one thing I'm going to say, right, it's not warm up north.
Annoying.
It's not warm
Danny's
up north.
always warm.
Yeah, every time I go up north of Watford, right, any time I go up north of Watford, I find it extremely cold. And when I go as far as Crewe and places like that, well, don't even get me going with Crewe. From Crewe upwards, it seems to be grey and miserable, grey and raining when it goes Crewe. And then I go up to Newcastle and all that. It's always grey and miserable. So I'm hoping that changes. I've got to go to Coventry in in a couple of months' time for work. I've got to go up to Coventry. I've got a 2-day up in Coventry. So I'm hoping that Coventry, I've got a 2-day up at the Rico Arena, and I'm hoping that the weather is dandy for me then. So I'm always in shorts no matter what the weather is, what Danny's saying.
He is.
And Mark Cook is saying, trust me, it ain't warm up north. Oh, yeah. Oh, here we go. So with the points deductions, sorry, this question, right? For me, I'm going to answer this by saying, if the rules are made, right, and all the Premiership teams adhere to the rules and agree the rules and they sign it off, then that means you all know what you've let yourself in for, right? So to come away, and all you're doing is trying to bend the rules, aren't you? Because to come away and let's say for Forest, for instance, Forest have turned around and said that they thought that it'd be all right for them to sell Johnson beyond the 31st of June, because all accounts go up to the 31st of June. Although the summer window's open later, you've got to have your accounts in order by the 31st of June. And Forest turning around and saying their defence is, no, we thought we'd get more money for him, so that's why we sold him afterwards, and we thought we wouldn't have been affected. Of course, if you're going to sell a player and put him on your books after the 31st of June, that's not going to count. But it's now been found out through the panel that did the findings on Nottingham Forest. It's been found that a club came in for Johnson, and they offered 60 million euros or 50 million euros or something like that before the 31st of June, and Forest turned it down. Forest turned that money down, and I can't remember who's gone in for him, but they've released it in the papers that Forest turned down a big bid for Johnson, much bigger than Brentford's bid, prior to the 31st of June. And it was Forest that held on to Johnson to try and see what they could get from there afterwards. Well, then you've clearly broken the rules. You can't say, yeah, we try to do it for this and do it for that. Everton, we bought Richarlison of Everton. It's quite weird because look at there's kind of a synergy here, Jess, right?
Mhm.
So Johnson with Forest and Tottenham, right?
Mm.
With Everton, we bought Richarlison off them. And Everton are now saying in Everton's submission when they got given the 10 points, they said that they felt hard done by because they reckon that Tottenham got him for 20 million cheaper than what he was worth. And that was part of their defence. That was part of Everton's defence. So you've got that. Now, Leicester's books are up until the end of last season, 31st.
Mm.
Who did we buy from Leicester? We bought James Maddison. So Tottenham seem to have a foot in all three camps with feelings that have led to these people getting points deductions. Now, like I said, if you vote for it, like all 20 clubs at the time voted for it, so everyone knows what they're voting for and what they're in for. When you come up from the Championship to the Premier League, you know what the rules are when you come up, and the amount of FFP goes up because you go to the Premiership, so it goes up by 30 odd million, right? So everyone knows what they've got to play with. So how Forest can turn around and say, well, this, that, and the other. Forest, the evangelist or whatever his name is, the Greek fella, he came in when Forest came up. He bought 34 players in the first set of transfer windows.
And players that really aren't even at Nottingham Forest now, isn't it? You know what I mean? They've gone out and just gone boom, 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 bye, 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 bye. There's got to be some.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to spend, isn't it, Jess? So therefore, in my eyes, Forest haven't got a leg to stand on. Everton's case is next week. So the second case is next week. So by the end of next week, they would have finished their case, and then the submissions will be put in and whatever, and then we're going to find out what happens to them. But they look like they're going to get docked again. So at the end of the season, and I talked about this earlier, but at the end of the season, you're going to have the 6 clubs at the moment, and 3 of these 6 are going to go down, right? So I said anyone from Brentford downwards are the 6 that are likely to go down. I think Palace are safe, right? But I think any of the other 6 could go down. But you could finish the season off with three teams in that relegation position, and by the time the appeals are heard the week after the season finishes, that bottom three could end up changing.
Absolutely.
And then with Leicester, they've already, I think they've said that because Leicester are going to be charged now, they won't add the points to Leicester this season.
Till next season, yeah.
They're going to add it next season. So if Leicester go into the Premiership, they go with points deduction to the Premiership. And if they stay in the Championship, they're going to get points deduction in the Championship. So, and what's Leicester's defence going to be? Because I saw what Leicester have put out as a club tonight. But I'm thinking to myself, you were in the Premiership, Leicester. You knew what the rules were. So, how can you turn around and say, I mean, some of these clubs have turned around and say, well, we thought you'd be lenient with us because we've cooperated. Yeah, let's cooperate. So if you go and kill a man, I'm going to kill a man, and then because I cooperated and I've told you that I did it and how I did it, you're going to say to me, oh, you ain't getting life for it. It was premeditated. I meant to kill him, and this is how I did it. But because I've now told you that, what are you going to say to me? Nah, we're going to reduce it to manslaughter, or we're not going to give you life. We're going to give you 10 years, and that's it. This is ridiculous. At the end of the day, these teams knew what the gig is, and they've been caught for it. That's the way I see it.
They know they can't break the rules over that £105 million loss over 3 years, and they've clearly done that. So if you've committed the crime, you do the time of whatever it is that you face in punishment.
Yeah.
It's only fair.
So it's interesting because obviously you can't say too much because you're doing a show tomorrow, but I can talk at the moment. You can't say much because you're doing a show tomorrow. So I implore everybody, get over to Jessie, JSY Talks Football, and watch her show at 9:30 tomorrow. If you can't watch her show, then always give it a like and rewatch it and make a comment because that all helps.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jessie, can I thank you very much for coming on? And I'm happy to have got you on finally.
We get there. No, thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Really enjoyed tonight.
But I want as soon as you've got your, then there's a lot more that we can do because then I can send you your messages and stuff like that, and it'd be easier to get you on because that's how we plan it and how we do it. So it'd be easier to get you on. But yeah, no, it's a pleasure having you on, and it's a pleasure having your gang over here as well, supporting you, supporting me. It's fantastic. And we've stumbled on a really, really good friendship, and I'm happy about that.
Me too. Absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
As Danny says, it all helps the algorithm. I wonder where you got that from, Danny. I reckon you got that from Jess because I hear Jess saying that all the time. It helps the algorithm.
Always helps for the algorithm. Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, so thank you very much. So people get over and watch Jess. And yeah, I thank you all for joining in tonight. Like I said, tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, it will be Chang and Ellie. And then 4 o'clock, we're going to do the prediction show. So look forward to that. And then Talk and Ball on Saturday. It's the member show at midday. So that's the lineup for this week. So yeah, I thank you all very much for joining us. Any final words from you, Jess?
No, just thank you very much for having me on, and make sure all my guys are subscribing, liking to Jose. Absolutely fantastic channel. Same at Talk and Ball. Go over and subscribe to these guys. Massive big up to them, and thank you so much for having me on.
Have you got a saying or anything? Because we've got a saying like "Come on, you Spurs" or whatever. Would you up the Lily White sort? Is it or?
Come on, you Whites. Normally we lead. Marching on together. MOT. Marching on together. Marching on together. Yeah, that's ours. MOT.
Yeah. So thank you very much, everyone. Take care of yourselves. And yeah, I'm going to play us out with a song. So I've got Jess here, and we've got our Tottenham song to play out with. But thank you, everyone. I wish you all a good night and a good day in whatever you do. Take care, everyone.
My team has got James Maddison. James Maddison is what we need. Whoa, thank God we got James Maddison. This kid plays ball like you would never believe. Whoa.